they also love a slightly more unexpected team, although maybe Japan, as Chris was saying before the game, aren't that unexpected, a tough opposition at the moment as well. Look, Tim, across this tournament, it's felt as though Brazil, while not perfect, have been improving game by game. They've just come up against a tough opponent in Japan, as you said, probably the most difficult one they could in this round of 32. And then they fight hard and they manage to get the win at the end. Does it feel as though they are still growing into this competition, or are you looking at this performance and thinking, still a few concerns?
Yeah, and I think there are a few more concerns. We'll have to wait for reports on Paquetá and Casemiro, both of whom came off injured. Now, midfield is not their strongest suit, and he hasn't picked many. I mean, it was a problem in the original squad. He only picked 5 midfielders, thinking he was only going to play 2 in that zone of the field. In the warm-up, it became obvious that they needed 3, and they took advantage of the right-back getting injured to bring in an extra midfielder. But they're still not particularly well covered in midfield. So if they have picked up 2 injuries in that zone of the field, then that's a worry, because that leaves their resources looking a little bit bare. But whatever happens tomorrow, it's going to be a fascinating meeting in the next round, because either it's Ivory Coast, and again you've got that tradition snob thing, the idea of being knocked out by an African side. It's too humiliating to think about. Or you've got Norway, in which case it's the hoodoo. Every campaign that Brazil have had since they won in 2002 has ended when they've come up against the European side in the knockout phases. What conclusion do I draw from all of this, Kelly? We can't lose. If it's Ivory Coast, we win. If it's Norway, we win. We can't lose.
Well, this is the thing. Norway, as you say, the only European nation that Brazil haven't beaten. They've drawn with them twice, and they've been beaten by them twice, and met in the World Cup in 1998. Norway won 2-1 in the group stage. But like you said, you look at that and you can't be tradition snobs on one hand and say we can't go out to the Ivory Coast, and on the other hand say, yeah, but history tells us that Norway can get the better of Brazil, and then flip that one on its head. You can't have your cake and eat it.
Yeah, I think, Kelly, the basic mistake you're making here is trying to apply logic to Brazil in a World Cup.
Or to football.
Yeah, especially not to Brazil in a World Cup. Forget about it. Forget about it. I mean, my 9-year-old grandson is here, and he's talking with all of his mates on social media, and it's incredible because he's 9 next month. He's never even seen close to Brazil being champions. Yeah. And just listening to the conversation between him and his 9-year-old friends, they all take it for granted that Brazil are going to win. They've grown up with this idea of natural superiority, and something is wrong with nature if Brazil don't win the World Cup. They're going to have to do a lot of growing up, I think, during the course of this tournament.
Do you know
because
what, though?
Brazil could get there, but it's not going to be easy.
It's not going to be easy, and at times it might in fact look very, very difficult indeed. But they have got through. They are in the round of 16, and we can hear how that goal sounded on Brazilian radio.
Futebol brasileiro, não há samurai que aguente, não há samurai que aguente quando o Brasil parte pra cima.
Alistair Bruce-Ball, do you ever wonder you're a bit low-key?
When we used to talk about the Germans' impressive record at tournament football, incidentally, that was their last clean sheet in a World Cup, as Paraguay are attacking it, and Enciso cuts inside, takes a deflection, and it goes behind for a corner kick to Paraguay, and almost reinforcing what we talked about.
Well, they got the ball from the kick-off, put it straight back to the keeper and lumped it. They put it in the mixer, first thing, right in the first few seconds. You know, it's worked for them. They've got a corner kick out of it. So it's exactly what the game plan they wanted to start with has started for Paraguay.
This match is live on BBC One. It means you can watch and listen to 5 Live through the iPlayer and also through the BBC Sport website. Already our referee in a orange referee's jersey is making sure that the jostling and going on in that 6-yard area, he's got an eye on it. It's an in-swinger, and it comes towards the far post, and there was an opportunity at the back post for Alonso, the left-back. He actually thought it should have gone behind for another corner kick.
So did I have to say, I thought it was a corner kick. They're not allowing the goal kick to be taken. That's why they're going to check for that, understandably. We shall see. I think that's the positive thing in this World Cup. You know, if you should have got a World Cup, you get it. And on this occasion, they don't get it because it wasn't.
When you said that they lumped it long, that is not a surprise, because Paraguay played more long passes than any other side in the group stages. They also made the most tackles, and they were third for high-intensity pressing. The conditions would favour the South American side. Germany certainly will want to try and put this game to bed as early as they possibly can. However, it is worth pointing out that they did take the lead against Ecuador in that final group game that saw that 11-match winning run come to an end. Sane on the far side, the right, 0-0 early stages. BBC Radio 5 Live and the BBC Sounds app. Rudiger passes the ball out wide. This is Wirtz. Wirtz looks towards Undav, it goes away from him. Stabbed back by Pavlovic towards Undav, who's going to surely lead the line. But now the break is on, and it's Enciso who's away for Paraguay, and Enciso carries the ball forward. He's 30 yards from goal now. He waits for some supporting runners. Enciso, though, runs into a little bit of traffic, and in the end is dispossessed by Mecha, who will bring it clear for Germany. But Enciso has made a couple of promising forays now down that left side.
He is one of those players, he's just non-stop, isn't it? He keeps on going consistently. He's got Avalos up with him, you know, up front, and they are playing a very clear 4-4-2. So it's not ultra negative. They're going to get the ball long to those two as quick as possible, but certainly for a pure running player, there's not anyone like Enciso on that pitch just now. He's quite extreme, and a little bit of a concern early on for...
Gustavo Gomez has gone down, the central defender. Now this would be a problem because he's started all 3 games. He's been the captain since 2019. He's one of those inspirational figures for Paraguay. He's a natural leader, but they're missing Alderete of Sunderland, who's got a knee problem. So all of a sudden that you would have your first choice central defensive pairing prevented from featuring now 3.5 minutes into this game.
That generally would hurt any team anywhere in the world, be they domestic, be they international. If you lose your first choice pairing at centre back, it's such a core, crucial role that they have in the team. But we shall see if they can survive it a little bit. You don't go down in this tournament if you're not injured. You don't go down to waste time, because you have to go off the pitch, obviously. So there is a concern down there, without a shadow of a doubt. Now, we'll go back to that little half chance early on in the game, you know, from the corner kick. Okay, there was players in the way. Neuer managed to save it, but it was a little hitch kick just inside the 6-yard line that could have gone anywhere. And this early in the game, only four minutes in, it's the best chance.
Gustavo Gomez is on his feet, seems to be running okay as he's just trotting across to this side of the pitch, and they're going to apply some further treatment. So they're down to 10 at the moment of Paraguay. Diego Gomez of Brighton is suspended. He was booked twice during the group stages, so therefore that's one of the 4 changes that has been made, as Canale has just clattered that ball out of play on the far side. That was almost when we were hearing about Tim Vickery and they were saying about the bouncers and you're not coming in. He just clattered it and then immediately looked to his right to see, when is my central defensive partner coming back to join me? Because at the moment Kubas is the one who's just filling in. And there is Canale, lets it go into the penalty area, but didn't see the spot of Havertz, back towards Undav, floats it towards the far post, and it's chipped wide, and it goes out for a goal kick, 0-0, 5 minutes played, 5 live.
Yeah, but a good break there, and you're absolutely right. They want to try and waste as much time so they can get the centre back on just now, and I would say he's got another 6 seconds that he has to wait. The referee's holding him up. He's getting frustrated down there, but he's got a few more seconds to wait to get the whole minute, and he's got him on now. The referee's done it to the second there, timed him. Very impressive.
Day 19 of the World Cup, but it's been the opening day at Wimbledon. And Yannick Sinner with a successful defence of his Wimbledon crown, through in 5 sets. Cameron Norrie, however, was out, losing in 5 sets. You can catch up throughout the BBC Sport website. Got the new podcast as well, Wimbledon Daily Podcast, and day 2 will be tomorrow with Claire and Gigi from 1 o'clock on 5 Live. as Havertz to Sane on the far side, comes in field. Germany, midway through the Paraguay half. Kimmich still at right back, but a lot of talk in Germany about whether he should be played back in a midfield position, but Nagelsmann prefers him at right back. The counter-argument is that Germany have a greater stability when he's in the midfield. Rudiger along the ground. Wirtz provides the width near side the left. Runs in field. Low ball in, cut out well by Canale. Mind you, he did ever so well because Havertz was sniffing that one out and was already making a run towards the far post for what surely had been a tap-in.
I think the word ghosting, it was actually made for the runs that Kai Havertz makes, isn't it? He just finds himself in there at the right position at the right time so many times, and Wirtz just cuts inside, puts the ball into an area, and you know Havertz is going to be in the right place there. Unfortunately for the German, it was cut out just before he got there.
Germany then in white, playing from right to left as we look 5 live. Again, the referee has just stopped that corner being taken quickly. He's noticed some pushing and some jostling. Don't think they will take to being manhandled, Paraguay. They might be doing it themselves. Kimmich's going to take it. This will be an in-swinging corner kick from the left. Headed back by Tar, headed out, and then it comes, and in the end by Wirtz. Hits it first time, right-footed. 25 yards out from goal. It was a wayward effort. Goal kick, 0-0. Pat Nevin.
Bit of a disappointment from Florian Wirtz there because, yeah, it's 22 yards out, but you've actually got plenty of time. There's nobody really closing them down there, you know, within 3 or 4 yards. So it's on the half volley. All you do at that point in time is consider getting it on target. Everything else is secondary. Get it on target. It can take a deflection. It does have a bit of a swipe at it.
Brown coming forward from left back, over halfway. Ball infield on the run. On that far side, it was Alonso who was tucked in to volley the ball clear for Paraguay. Picked up by Kimmich. Passes the ball early. Havertz had dropped off into space. Sane stays out wide, right side, level of the area. Cross takes the deflection, loops in the air, and then just allows Caceres to head the ball comfortably back to his goalkeeper, Orlando Hill, the 26-year-old who makes his 10th appearance for his country, goes into double figures here this afternoon in Massachusetts. 0-0.
Very intriguing the way Germany are trying to play just now because there's 2 left up. The Germans aren't silly. They make sure it's not 4 against 2. They make sure one of the fullbacks flies into that midfield and gives them a little bit of extra manpower in there, and it kind of does work for them just now. The 4-4-2, not many teams play that system these days. I'll tell you what, the Paraguayans know how to do it.
The slow hand clap started by the German supporters, but the Americans joined in, and that was why they just cheered at the end of that as Almiron was caught from behind. Looked a clumsy challenge by Pavlovic, and it will be a free kick to Paraguay, and the former Newcastle man has stayed down as he returns to the side after suspension.
It's one of those ones that goes down. I think he should be fine because there wasn't a massive amount of contact unless he's twisted something on the way down there, holding his knee. Actually, the most painful thing was he landed on the ball in his stomach. I thought that might have hurt him, but he'll be fine. And his pace is important today. You know, he's not one of the 2 strikers, but he has to get up the park every now and again. But that's going to be tough because Brown loves to fly forward in left back position for the German side.
Sent off against Turkey, the first player to be sent off covering his mouth to an opponent, and that was the reason why he missed the Australia game as a result of it, but he's back in the side after that ban as Sane carries the ball forward, right hand side midway through the Paraguay half, glides in field and then passes the ball to Rudiger, who has returned to the starting lineup with Schlotterbeck out of the side through injury. Pavlovic strokes it to Kimmich, but the right back was in a central area and Ciso caught him a little late. Referee spotted it. That'll be a free kick. They are trying to make their presence felt at every opportunity, Paraguay, goalless.
Yeah, last thing you want of Germany is to be closed down everywhere. You mentioned it right at the start, you know, they're very highly rated in the statistics for closing down. Actually, they're all quite good at it, but Ciso's spectacularly good at it. It reminds me of a player who was playing a wee bit earlier today for Japan.
That wouldn't have been Maeda, would it?
Oh yes, definitely. He's absolutely non-stop. So not dissimilar. I mean, I'd say Ciso's a bit taller, but he's got that shock of blonde hair, dyed blonde hair, so you can pick him out rather easily.
And Ciso, who Scored 12 goals in 37 appearances for Strasbourg. Undav tried the little layoff, but it enabled Paraguay to clear it away through Andres Cubas, the little warrior, that defensive midfielder who put the ball out of play on that far side, and Germany have already taken the throw. And this is with Tar to Rudiger, his fellow central defensive partner. Rudiger chips it forward. Metcher's made the run forward from the midfield. It goes over his head. There was a little check there by Canales, and it goes out of play for a goal kick to Paraguay, which they're in no hurry to take.
Yeah, it was just before the game we were listening to Tim Vickery, and he gave a great description of their defence and their players being like nightclub bouncers. Nobody gets by. What a brilliant description. They love defending, you know, and their physicality is now a little bit easier to use in the game at the moment because it's a higher bar for the free kicks and for the yellow cards just now. So these bouncers have been allowed out into the street a little bit just now. I think they're enjoying it.
Well, with his shaggy hair, Jose Canales, he's like the Paraguayan Puyol, isn't he? As once again he's just there to break it up. No nonsense, left-footed, downfield, out it goes for a throw.
Do you know what the Paraguayan for Ave is? Because they just lump the ball and say, you have it. Thumps it long, not considered. It's happened a couple of times. Players going down just now, Florian Wirtz, he just holds his arm out a bit. I mean, seriously, get up. There's not been much of that in this World Cup that I've seen. Not that we can all watch every single minute of every single game, but players throwing themselves to the deck when there's a hand being waved in their general direction. It's not happened as much this time, and not over impressed with that. Hey, I'll tell you what, the referee's telling me to go off now. Excellent referee, absolutely superb referee. He's gone down, holding his face. Oh, I'm terribly badly injured. Good, you must be that badly injured. Go and stand off for a minute.
He'll be off for a minute now, Caceres.
Excellent, superb. Because it was honestly nothing wrong with him, absolutely nothing wrong with him. So this is one of the really good things, I hesitate before saying it, that FIFA has done for this World Cup. Absolutely superb.
Bobadilla, for the time being, fills in at left back. Tenlo, incidentally, is the word for have it in Spanish, as this is Tar, who then passes the ball to Rudiger. Now they're going to test out the makeshift right back. Wirtz plays it early. Brown makes the run, and that was good tracking back by Almiron. As it goes behind for a corner kick to Germany, and still Caceres is off the field of play. 14 minutes gone, 0-0.
So here's a question. Do you think Caceres will go down pretending to have a sore face in a minute? Or do you think he will not do that again because he's learned his lesson? Oh, how I wish this rule had been brought in years ago. Anyway, 10 men have to defend against the Germans. Not easy.
Kimmich again ready to take the corner kick near side the left. It'll be right-footed. Another in-swinger. It's delivered deep towards the far post. And it was Cubas who got something on it with his head, but also the referee had spotted an infringement inside the penalty area, and that will be a free kick to Paraguay. Although I can understand the frustration of Gustavo Alvaro, because that's a long 60 seconds. And still they're waiting for him to come on.
But it is 60 seconds. The referee's been absolutely nailed on, spot on, right about it. He's done it twice now. Both times to players who I wasn't convinced they'd been badly injured at all, and they will not do it again. Got to learn the lesson now, because they could lose badly at this. By the way, I'm sure the VAR had a little look there. Goalkeeper Hill, he was grabbing at the forward there, and that was a serious grab and a serious pull over. I think he's got a wee bit fortunate there from the corner kick, not to give away a penalty.
The goalkeeper who plays for his football in Argentina for San Lorenzo. Became first choice for Paraguay only late last year. He's a tall, imposing figure as we look from our lofty position here in Boston. Away to our left as he's all in his purple goalkeeping outfit, as the white shirts of Germany, with Tar outside the centre circle to Kimmich, the right back, closed down by Enciso. There comes the press from Avalos, the centre forward. Out they go towards Sane. Havertz pays the ball back towards Sane, runs forward. Sane now will go on the outside of Canale. No, he won't. Canale goes to ground and with a left-footed challenge puts the ball out of play for a throw. Well timed.
How good a tackle was that? Now, we're talking about many old school things about this side we're watching here. The system 4-4-2 is old. They love tackling in a sometimes rather agricultural way, but that one was a beautifully timed slide tackle that If you're tackled like that, you remember being tackled like that.
He's 29 years of age. He's the left-sided centre-back. As Germany have the ball, Mecha doesn't cross it straight away. Pavlovic, Mecha gets another touch. Kimmich in field now towards Tar. Midway through the Paraguay half, back to the central defender. Rudiger to his left. Brown provides width near side the left. Still it remains 0-0, 5 live, 16.5 minutes played. Germany, though, are forced back. Paraguay keeping their shape. Still, they switch it back to this near side. Undav, who plays the ball in field. And Wirtz was the one who'd gone into a central area, but Paraguay clear it, but then do not break ranks. As Wirtz collects it, plays it forward. Havertz had made the run, headed out. But Canale, who'd made a couple of late earlier, only had his first call-up in March at 29 years of age. He's a late developer. It's just his 5th cap, but you can clearly see he's relishing it.
He's loving it, actually. It's a really, really good start to the game. Quite interesting to see, you know, if you have to break down a very tight defence with 4 midfielders in front of them, you want a kind of a lock opener kind of player, someone who's got those quick feet, sophisticated, can see little tiny gaps. That's almost a perfect description of Wirtz, isn't it? But he spent his time standing way out on the left-hand side. You almost expect he would be much better, a little bit further in, getting the ball in the little gaps in between the centre backs and the centre midfield players. But he's been very, very wide. His heels on the back most of the time.
Yes, Wirtz to the left, Sane to the right. And then you've got Havertz and Undav occupying the 2 central defenders for Paraguay. As Tar to Rudiger. But Brown is predominantly staying forward. I mean, when they're in possession, it's almost that they're playing 3 at the back, with Kimmich as the right-sided central defender, as here he is now. To that far side, Sane. Brown is the one who's gone inverted. But you'd think the other way, wouldn't you? You'd think Brown to provide the width, and Wirtz would then go into a more central area.
Yeah, and that may well happen at some point. But at the moment, I like that. It was quite obvious early on what the Germans are doing there. They will go to 3 against 2, because it's a waste of a player if you're 4 against 2 at the back. That's what Paraguayans will have worked on before, to try and tie out 4 players and not be overdone in the midfield. But they are playing it really well, and it is that man Brown that's getting there.
Sane right side. Mecha tries to give him the ball back. There was a block there from the body of Paraguayan players, and they've just cleared it. There's nobody to give chase, because Gabriel Avalos, who's 34 years of age, he's going to conserve his energy as Kimmich picks it up on the far side. And now towards Rudiger. And Paraguay are quite happy to allow Germany to have the ball at this stage. They're not going in search of it in that middle third of the field. Brown the left back. Wirtz again on this near side, back towards Rudiger. Almiron darts towards Rudiger. Now it's picked up by Pavlovic in the midfield for Germany. Kimmich is to his right. Sane stays high on that far side. Still 0-0 on BBC Radio 5 Live, BBC Sounds app, and also you can watch and listen through the iPlayer and the Sport website as Paraguay break up that. And Galasa clears downfield, looking towards Enciso, but Kimmich will go back towards Manuel Neuer. Remember, Germany's last clean sheet in a World Cup was that 2014 final in Brazil, when they beat Argentina by 1-0. 9 games since, and they've not kept a clean sheet. This is the first time that they've progressed to the knockout stages after the disappointment of Russia and Qatar. Canale again just steps forward to break up that move for Paraguay, and then Bobadilla gives it away, and it will go out for a Germany throw on the halfway line. 20 minutes played. Pat Nevin.
I don't think I've seen Paraguay play more than 4 passes together at any point in the game so far. And we're so used to, you know, particularly if you watch the Premier League, but English football, you play out for the back, you hold the ball, because if you lump it long, it just keeps on coming back to you. That's what's happening now.
This is Sane. Kimmich, less than 30 yards out from goal, just moving, edging his way into a central area. Rudiger helps it towards Wirtz, level with the box, looks to go on the outside of Caceres. Bobadilla heads it forward. Almiron was fouled from behind by Brown. That will be a free kick. And it's still goalless.
Again, Almiron's gone down. He needs to be careful. He's gone down. I think he did get a little bit of a kick there. The referee's just ignoring him. He said, right, it's a free kick, go on with it. Come on, get up. And if he doesn't get up, he'll ask him to leave the field for a minute. it does change the dynamic. It really hurts Paraguay in some degrees because they do want to slow the game down. They do want to get a little bit of rest now and again. And we wait here. This is the highest at any point in the game that we have seen the Paraguay team. That actually the back line's almost up in the halfway line. Absolutely nothing like that so far, not even close. I don't think it's going to last very long, do you?
But that crackdown on the time wasting, bearing in mind that we didn't really see many games in the group stages that had jeopardy where teams would want to waste time. This is where in the knockout stages it will, and we've already seen, has come into good effect. Sane lost the ball, breaking it up then was Galasa, and then he was adjudged to have fouled Kimmich, was Mateus Galasa, and that will be a free kick to Germany 10 yards inside their own half. We're almost at the midway point of the first half, still 0-0.
It's very noticeable that, you know, they do defend 8, they're really structurally well organised. It's a 4-4, very close together, then a big gap, and then 2. But when they do win it, which is irregular, which is once every 6, 7, 8 minutes, the amount of players that just go and fly forward to try and get a hold of it, they know they're going to get very, very few chances to go forward in this game. And at the moment, they've got another half chance.
Avalos with a hold-up play, looked towards Bobadilla, but he was surrounded by white shirts as Tar there knocks Avalos to the floor, and the referee says, right, cut that out, Paraguay will get a free kick. But here in the searing heat in Boston, at the midway point of this first half, it is Germany 0, Paraguay 0, and there's going to be a hydration break. And that means that we can get an update from our tennis correspondent, Russell Fuller, for what is the latest at day 1 at Wimbledon. So to SW19 we go, and Russell.
7 minutes to 10 in the evening, Ian. The roof is closed, the lights are on, and Novak Djokovic leads Yu Weibing of China by 2-1, and by 2-3 he trails now in this 4th set, having had to save a couple of break points. So the Chinese player outside the top 100 in the world, playing a brilliant match, full of attacking tennis, and keeping Djokovic on centre court until late into the night. The other headlines from day 1, Jannik Sinner taken to 5 sets, but he came through against Miomir Kecmanovic of Serbia. And from a British perspective, very disappointing, with 10 British players losing in the first round, including the British #1 Cameron Norrie, and only Jack Pinnington-Jones surviving because the daylight faded when he was trailing by 2 sets in his first round match against Brandon Nakashima.
Thank you, Russell, and don't forget as well that Wimbledon Daily podcast will reflect but also look ahead to day 2. Gigi Salmon and Claire McDonald with you from 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, live on 5 Live. Talking of podcasts, the new TMS podcast will have Ben Stokes reflecting on that decision to retire after England lost the 3rd test and indeed the series 2-1 after they were bowled out for 212. So they were beaten by New Zealand by 160 runs as Nagelsmann and Alvaro, the 2 respective coaches, take advantage of this drinks break to give their latest tactical instructions. Pat Nevin.
I've been intrigued to see what Nagelsmann does to change it, because I bet your bottom dollar Gustavo Alfaro won't change a thing. They'll just defend, they're going to work very, very hard. And to be honest, you've got to applaud them, because there have been very few, if any, chances for the Germans. Really not been much. I'm thinking back to just a chance where Havertz was going at the back post, but never reached him. So very, very little getting in there. So they're the ones that need to adapt as the Germans. They need to do something. They need to ask a different question. Do you ask Florian Wirtz to go a little bit further inside? But that would mean Ndarv has to move a little bit. Does Kai Havertz do something different, because he's such an intelligent player? But at the moment he's having to play against the big 2 centre-backs. I'm not sure that's his best. I think he's one of these players who likes arriving just a little bit late. He's not getting a chance to do that because he's up against those 2. Beginning to look at, I'm sure you've seen him recently, Sane out on the right-hand side. He looked really lively for the first 10 minutes. Not sure he's got an entire match in him. Having watched him this season at Gala, not quite sure he's got that in him in these conditions to play at a high rate. So there's a few questions to be answered at the moment, and I think Nagelsmann, oddly enough, is the one who has to answer them.
That's Pat Nevin with us here on 5 Live during that drinks break as well. I notice on the middle tier on the far side, the middle tier of 3 of this open-air stadium, that it has emptied rapidly, as many people I'm sure are going for their own liquid refreshment just to give them some break from the heat as it will be beating down on them on the far side. I also know your feelings about the drinks break. We are aligned in our thinking. However, what has all of a sudden become a growing trend, it seems, is now an impromptu karaoke as Bon Jovi was being played there. I mean, I ain't a fan of the drinks break, and I'm not a fan of people doing karaoke during it either.
Yeah, and they love a rock anthem here. They absolutely do. Look, nothing against fans having a good time and enjoying themselves, but you can tell that this Americanization of the game was always coming in. FIFA love it. You know, they bring it in here, and the fear and the expectation is it will take over the game eventually. It's I don't think there's much you can do about it.
No, all we can do is complain. 27 minutes in, 0-0. Rudiger hits it long. Wirtz makes the run after it on this near side, won't keep the ball in play. Actually bounces away off the advertising hoardings and goes out for a goal kick.
Maybe that was a different tactic there, because that's the first time I've watched the Germans try a long ball, because they've slowly but surely built it up. And if you do that through the phases of the pitch and get to the 18-yard line of the Paraguayans, by the time you do that, they're set. They're exactly what... By the way, there's a match momentum over there. It's almost funny. There's no Paraguayan. It's all kind of bubbled up in one side, all Germany. The Paraguay just don't exist in that kind of momentum side of the diagram.
66% possession for Germany, 0-0. Almiron falls forward. Again, I don't think there was much connection with the former Newcastle man, and the referee just tells him to get up.
Brilliant. And look at him, he gets up now. And he's got to learn this lesson. You can't keep on going down like that, because the referees are just not giving it. It's got to be a foul before you go down. Good ball.
Ball from Kimmich to Sane. Sane takes it with a header away from the goalkeeper, pushes it away. Undav couldn't control it. Offside anyway on the far side. Kimmich from right back just hit the ball long. Sane made the run, and actually his header in field took it away from his defender, but they never looked fully in control of the ball.
Well, that's the difference. When you have these drinks breaks, what tends to happen is they do something slightly different. That's 2 long balls now for the back from Germany. They never did one of them. And I was saying, like, when they go through the phases very slowly, Paraguayans love that. Well, the Germans should just sit back a little bit, say, OK, come on to us, and play behind it. Because as we speak just now, the Germans have fallen back a little bit, and Paraguayans are now pushed up the field, because you can't really sit back in your own 18-yard line and have the ball. It gives Germany something to run into. It gives Sane something to run into using his pace. It gives Wirtz a little bit of space to go and try and play the ball through to Havertz. Clever play.
Caceres with a long throw into the penalty area. Stooping to head it out was Tar. Brought back under control by Kubas. Ball played out by Caceres to Almiron. Tries to get the better of Brown. Gets past Brown, keeps the ball in play, and then with a nice little turn, couldn't keep it in as he knocked it out of play for a goal kick that Neuer wants to take quickly. But Germany are labouring here.
They are labouring, but I can see what they've tried to change about the game. Whether it'll work or not, we'll just see. Still haven't created any open chances, but there have been 2 attempts since the break to play it long, a little bit of a switch across the field and get it behind the fullbacks. It's not complicated, not sophisticated, but at least it's something different.
This is Rudiger, midway through the Paraguay half, finds Brown, the left back, ahead of him. Short ball to his left for Wirtz, down towards the byline, challenged by Caceres. Wirtz holds him off. Caceres sticks to his task well, nudges the ball out of play for a throw that Wirtz then will toss into the penalty area towards Havertz. Havertz runs back out towards the corner flag, and then the clearance from Gustavo Gomez was straight into the body of Havertz. Germany deliver the cross from the left, partially cleared. Pavlovic with a flick towards Kimmich. Nice little duck under the ball from the referee. Sane right corner of the area. Germany try to up the tempo, but still they cannot get past this Paraguayan defence. The ball loops in the air. Gustavo Gomez with the header away, and the referee has blown his whistle. He spotted a foul. It'll be a free kick to Paraguay. The German fans behind the goal don't like it. They're whistling, and 14 minutes of normal time remain, and it remains 0-0.
Yeah, they don't like it because, you know, some of their players, you know, they think if they go down, they get a foul against them. It doesn't work the other way. But in actual fact, the referee's been really fair about this all the way through. And that was a nudge from Unduff. If a defender's in front of you, just about to go and head the ball, and you nudge him, he can't get himself up to go and head of the ball. Definite free kick.
This game is panning out is exactly the way that we thought it was going to pan out.
Absolutely. I mean, sometimes you do, you're studying, you look at the team's play beforehand, you listen to our experts before the game and they tell us what they think. And the thing is, everyone was in agreement before the game. And there's a reason why everyone was in agreement, because we kind of know the styles of these two teams. Well, particularly the Paraguayans are not going to come out unless they lose a goal. But the Germans, have they got enough sophistication and verve to change it? Well, they've not quite shown it yet, but it's there, in there somewhere.
Rudiger. Wirtz, who still stays wide left. In field, Pavlovic shields the ball towards Wirtz. Little touch by Mecha. Havertz just couldn't quite get on the end of it. At one stage, I wondered if it'd just been pulled back a fraction, but it goes out of...
I think in times gone by, Havertz would have went down there. I know exactly what you're saying there. There was a little arm on his arm, and he kind of half-turned the defender, and he considered going down, but I think players in this World Cup are just learning. What's the point? I'm not going to get anything.
This is Kimmich. No one ahead of him for the right back. Sane had come into a central area. Back it goes towards Kimmich. Joshua Kimmich now finds Rudiger on the outside of the centre circle. German voices you might be able to hear away towards our left. This is Pavlovic. Havertz with a turn, edge of the area, snapshot, blocks. Almiron picks it up for Paraguay. Almiron runs out to this near side, behind him to Caceres, the right back, onto his left foot to clear, but easily read by Rudiger, who with a little twist of his upper body chested the ball deliberately into the path of Kimmich, runs forward. Pavlovic now takes over, the Bayern midfielder, short diagonal ball, and then Mecha actually passes the ball further than Kimmich would have wanted, and he has to run back towards the halfway line to retrieve it. 33 minutes played, BBC Radio 5 live. Another perfect skies here for this tea time in Boston, but it ain't a party for Germany at the moment. This is Sane. Last touch came off him as it ricocheted away off Junior Alonso, back onto the body of Sane, and it goes out for a goal kick to Paraguay, 0-0.
Do you know, it wasn't very clear. You heard the German fans singing there, and it sounded to me they were singing in English, "You don't know what you're doing." And sometimes the German fans actually do sing in English, they know all the songs, but I think they're a bit miffed with the referee. I'm not. He's doing a really good job. And it's just jumped into my mind there, the last team that played this sort of way in a top championship, so, you know, ultra defensively and worked really hard and got behind the ball, that actually succeeded.
2004 Greece.
Correct, absolutely. So it's not impossible. It's unlikely, but it's not impossible.
Kimmich forward towards Sane. Sane taken away off him. That was by Matheus Galaza, but Kimmich has won it back for Germany. Mecha, though, quickly closed down by Kubas in the midfield. There's a real tussle going on, and Almiron on that occasion was impeded by Mecha. Undav is suggesting that Almiron has dived as he stays spread-eagled with his back to the floor, and the German fans again don't like it, but Almiron has won the free kick for Paraguay.
I think he doesn't get a lot of sympathy, Almiron, and I kind of understand it. He's got a lovely smile, and I always noticed that when he was in the UK. But he's spending an awful lot of time in the ground at the moment, isn't it? And he has to be careful, because if you go to the ground too easy, referees get bored with you, and sometimes they don't give you fouls that you should get. The ones that are borderline, you stop getting them. You got that one, and he probably slightly deserved to get that one. The problem you've got if you're Paraguay, like, they're not superhuman. If you chase the ball this much, eventually you will get tired. Eventually the odd gap will deliver itself for the good players to work themselves into, but at the moment, still no sign of that gap.
No, Germany are going to have to be patient. Kimmich to Sane. Musiala, remember, is on the bench as Undav is making his first start here, but he's more of a goal poacher. That was the reason why he wasn't starting, that Nagelsmann felt that he didn't necessarily link up the play as well as as Havertz, but the two of them are playing up front, and Musiala, the one, has been sacrificed. Sane then delivers the low ball. Pavlovic tried to play it first time towards Meche, wouldn't come off. Tries to get it back, but some dogged defending from Paraguay. And then Caceres will play the ball forward, and Almiron is onto it on this near side, keeps the ball in play, again falls over. Brown wins the ball fairly and brings it clear for Germany. Short forward ball, Undaf lays it out towards Havertz. Havertz looks up, drags it back to the edge of the area, but there was Galasa with the easy interception, and now he will run forward with the ball, and then he dives forward, and the referee will give the free kick. And on that occasion, it was Pavlovic was the offender. Free kick to Paraguay, just inside their own half. 8 minutes to go to half-time, 0-0.
There is a real problem for the Paraguayans. Like, you look at the defending here and you know what they're doing, and they're defending well, and they are very good defenders. And their midfielders are dogged as anything. They're closing down, no space whatsoever. They must be absolutely horrible to play against. However, when you do get the ball and you look up, the decision making so far has been absolutely awful. It's been atrocious. They have not found. Now and again, there's been the odd ball on, particularly for Enciso. You just don't find them, and it's really poor. When you play this method, you need to give people a little bit of a break now and again. That means when you break out of it, make the right pass. The vast majority of the time now, you have not been able to do that.
Paraguay have failed to score in all 4 World Cup knockout ties against European nations, losing all 4. Certainly remember one of them in 1986 when England beat them by 3-0. Peter Beardsley and Gary Lineker amongst the goals on that occasion in Mexico. Also, Germany beat them in 2002 in South Korea. Olivia Neuville scored an 88th minute winner in what was a last 16 encounter in South Korea. Wouldn't be at all surprised if it was another late goal on the balance of play with what we've watched so far.
Exactly, and the fact that we've had 2 knockout games so far, and both of them went to the last few minutes before it's been decided, and I suppose that's a good thing. It's kept everybody interested right to the last minute.
Almiron holds on to the ball. Caceres was an option to his right. Instead, he goes back into the centre circle, collects it back from Cubas. At times, he's been criticised as Miguel Almiron for not performing for the national side, but he's certainly involved. He's drifting into a central area now, passes the ball back, and this is possibly Paraguay's most sustained spell of possession that they've had with the ball, as Bobadilla, another midfielder, goes back towards goalkeeper Orlando Hill.
They actually look uncomfortable when they've got the ball in midfield and have to move forward. They ended up going back to the goalkeeper there, even though we're in a good position. It's really strange for a team to look uncomfortable with the ball at their feet and going forward and being asked to attack, as if we don't want to do this. We don't feel comfortable allowing our players to go forward and leaving ourselves a little bit scarce at the back. So it's a very weird scenario. You're absolutely right. That was the best place of midfield play that I've had, and they ended back with the keeper.
Caceres with a forceful header. The corner is taken short for Germany. Still 0-0. 5 minutes to go to half-time. Brown on the infield. Wirtz looking maybe to try and get the shot away. Miscontrolled it. Just bobbled away from him just at the wrong moment. Neuer, all in yellow, just to get involved, has come to the halfway line to pass the ball forward towards Brown. Wirtz floats over the cross. Undaf crowded out inside the penalty area. Bobadilla's header. And then there was a handball by Pavlovic, and that will be a free kick. Pat Nevin.
That's a fantastic moment. You look at it for the Paraguayans. If they get a free kick, it's like everyone goes, oh yes, we can take our foot off the gas a little bit with this defending and chasing and closing down. Just take 10, 20 seconds or more just to get themselves a little bit of a breather. Having said that, once again, we've got a few players up, and surprise, surprise, they've lashed it long and lost the ball. Well, they've got it back again. Well done there.
They've never actually scored a goal in the knockout stages of a World Cup. It is the longest run in World Cup history, because when they did get through to the after beating Japan in penalties in 2010, they then lost the quarter. It was after a goalless draw, and then they lost the quarter-final by a 1-0. But they have now got a corner kick. This would be a real smash and grab if they could conjure up something on this near side now. It hasn't stopped their supporters who are buoyant and enthusiastic in the sunshine in their red and white striped shirts, high up behind that goal away towards our right, hoping that they can pose a threat from a set piece. They have created nothing in open play. It is Almiron with a corner kick. It's an in-swinger, and Neuer fisted the ball out with both hands in front of his face. Comes back out towards Caceres to Almiron, near side the right. Almiron plays a cute ball back on the inside. Galaza delivers the ball, and Paraguay have scored. And Cissé with a header, their first ever goal in the knockout stages of a World Cup. That barren run, the longest run ever in World Cup history, is over, and they have stunned the Germans. And it is Julio and Cissé, and the commentators all around me and the fans all around me are celebrating wildly, as are the supporters in the red and white striped shirts. They've offered absolutely next to nothing, but Paraguay take the lead 1-0.
I think possibly in my years of watching football, that is the biggest smash and grab 45 minutes I think I have ever seen. They never get out of their own half at any point in time. However, that's a magnificent move to actually win this, to go down the right-hand side. Lovely reverse ball played down the right-hand side, and when the header comes to Cissé, who is almost certainly the best player, heads it down, looks as if he's been waiting for this for about a year, no doubt whatsoever, in the corner. The Germans have got a major problem now, because I have a suspicion that the Paraguayans are not going to come out and play now. I have a suspicion they might try and defend us pretty deep and pretty desperately.
Whatever makes you think that?
What a game we're going to... By the way, how good was the celebrations around us with the Paraguayan journalists? It was fabulous. We've got a camera on us now, and our producer George has got it on us. Change it, George. Get it onto them, mate.
He's still going. I'll try and put my microphone towards him, because he's literally 2 seats away from me, just to give you a little flavour of what's going on with Paraguay. But I don't want to miss any of the action. Rudiger quickly challenged. It was great though, because they went absolutely wild.
I think they were in shock.
Rudiger finds Brown. Mentioned it at the start about how they struggled against Ecuador in that final group stage game. Almiron hits it towards Enciso. They will chase everything now. This could be their best ever results in a World Cup for Paraguay. It's the first time that they're in a World Cup in 16 years. Their first goal that they've scored, and they certainly made the most of it.
I mean, they've gone back to exactly the way they were before, just getting themselves deep. You know, when they get it, had it long, hopefully it land at one of their strikers. Generally doesn't, and then have to go back into that defensive shape again, but they defend well.
Sane to Kimmich. We said at the very start, I think it was Kelly actually that said it, that, you know, we were talking about the heat, and she says, well, the Germans they're under fire. Julian Nagelsmann, under pressure, has to deliver a good result and a good performance. That's skied up in the air by Gustavo Gomez. Header out, headed further out as far as it comes to Kimmich. A little swish of that, left-footed on the half volley, off target. A little bit desperate there from Germany, and we're into the last 30 seconds of normal time here in Boston.
I mean, that's a great moment there when the ball's in the own area there. There's no consideration of taking it down, playing it, even playing up the back. It's just hoof it as high and as hard as you possibly can, and then deal with the next ball. It just doesn't matter. If you have to get it away, get it away. It doesn't matter how you do it.
The drum is beating in that tiny section of Paraguayan support high up towards our right, but they are dancing in the sunshine. And they have got every good reason to as well, because they are leading Germany by 1-0. We're into 5 minutes of added time here in the first half on BBC Radio 5 Live. And Julio Enciso, who now plays for Strasbourg, had that loan spell at Ipswich. 5 goals he scored in 57 appearances for Brighton and Hove Albion. He's the Paraguayan hero. Kimmich with a corner kick for Germany. Crowded 6-yard area. Headed out by Galasa far side. Canale chases after it. helped out as another sliding challenge comes in from Galasa, and then Canale again. They are going to be so committed.
How good was that tackle there? You smiled when that tackle went in, didn't you? You loved it. It was a tackle. The ball had bounced really high, about knee height, and he comes in, and if he misses it or mistimes it, he's off the park. There's no doubt this is a red card, but he catches it clean.
Kimmich, ball played inside, Mecha able to turn and mark, takes a deflection and goes across the face of goal. And out for a corner kick. The goalkeeper could only watch to his right, and he was grateful to see it drop possibly about 12 inches away from his right-hand post behind for a corner. Paraguay still have a slender lead.
I would say that's the first time in this entire match that anyone in that defence has switched off. And it gave Mecha a little bit of space there to turn, and for the first time I'd say also Paraguay got a wee bit lucky.
Another corner kick on the left-hand side. Kimmich to take it, it's an in-swinger. That was Gustavo Gomez to head the ball away. It's another in-swinging cross. Havertz is there, comes towards Kimmich, down into the ground and gathered by the goalkeeper high up at his near post, and then dives forward. Can he release the ball early towards Enciso? Enciso has got after it. Brown also had sensed the danger, as had Neuer, out of his penalty area, all in yellow, to clear the ball away for Germany. Paraguay still lead by 1-0. This now is Undaf. Undaf, forward ball. Challenge from Caceres, battling for it, and the referee has said the flag is up and it will be a free kick.
Definitely was. Havertz went a little bit too early. You mentioned about a few minutes ago there was a wee bit of desperation coming into the German play. I completely agree with you. You can see it now. They're trying to get it forward a little bit too quickly. They don't look as if they've got an absolute set pattern that they feel is going to break this defence down. Because so far, I think they've created one chance. And even that was half a chance, and it wasn't on target, and it was just ignoring the chance to get Nemecha covered in the 18-yard line. But apart from that, nothing from the Germans in that final third.
These commentators just to my right, they're like the Blues Brothers. They're actually commentating in sunglasses.
Oh, cool.
All that's missing is the hat.
I think we should try it.
I'm wearing a bucket hat, which is a multicoloured bucket hat to shield my bald head from the sun. But they're looking very cool, suave and sophisticated. Although there's nothing sophisticated about their celebrations, as the attempted clearance was charged down, picked up by Kimmich. In comes the cross from the right-hand side, and Bobadilla sliced that off his left foot. Corner kick to Germany, stoppage time. Germany still looking for an equaliser. 60 seconds remain of injury time here in Boston.
What a big difference it would make for Paraguay if they could just get to half-time. They've got about a minute to go yet. If they could get to half-time, 1-up, they'd come up for the second half completely rejuvenated, reinvigorated, thinking, all we need to do is what we've done in the first half again.
What a story we have here in Boston. Well, Foxborough, 22 miles southwest of downtown Boston, and at times with the traffic, if you ever drive to Selhurst Park, it makes driving to Selhurst Park very, very easy, because it is...
Good route today, though.
Yeah, we did have a good route. In comes the corner kick, far side, the right. That's a good take. Very good take by Orlando Hill. Tall keeper stretching high, good claim, far post. They still lead 1-0.
And the problem they've got now is, the keeper, he can't hold it, lie down, kill a little bit of time. He needs to get moving. Oddly enough, I think that kind of suits him, because Enciso now, if he makes a move and he goes and attacks from the goalkeeper catching it, he's got a chance to catch these German defenders.
What we're going to do on the half-time whistle, we're going to try and give you a little flavour, and you can listen to La Tribuna, the national radio of Paraguay, as Kimmich with a cross cleared well by the Gustavo Gomez. So here is half-time whistle, and this is La Tribuna.
El primer tiempo en Boston y está ganando la albirroja, está ganando Paraguay con el gol de Enciso. La selección nacional se va al descanso.
He's given us the thumbs up. Either that or he was telling us to get out.
And that's what he's been like consistently since he scored the goal. And when he scored the goal, it was a different scale altogether. What an incredible story we've got here. I mean, you looked at it and think, well, Germans might actually not break them down. But you really couldn't see them breaking away and scoring a goal. An exceptional goal as well. when they got up, they got the second corner of the game, and then it was a tackle in midfield. And it was all about that desperation to make a tackle in midfield. The Germans were breaking them, but no, they want to win every tackle. And by the way, they are extraordinarily good at tackling. I know it's an odd thing, the very old-fashioned thing to say. They know how to tackle. Well, that tackle won them the ball back halfway into the German half, played it out wide, little reverse ball, great header, and we're not biased in any way, but I'm delighted we have got a second half that's got some story to tell here.
Enciso with the goal 3 minutes before half-time. And what a scoreline in Boston. Germany 0. Paraguay with their first ever goal in the knockout stages of a World Cup 1. Mark.
But everything, Pat, about that Paraguayan goal was pathetic, wasn't it, from a German point of view, from sort of Neuer's punch to a half-hearted 50-50 challenge, the ball then recycled, no challenge really put in as the Paraguayans got round the back on the right, and then Enciso in acres of space in the area. I mean, everything about it was terrible from a German perspective.
Well, apart from those 5 mistakes, it wasn't too bad. You're absolutely spot on. I think they've gone to sleep defensively. I think that's what it is, Champers, because they've not had to defend almost at any point in this game. Just all that is a long thump, a hoof up the park, chase that. And, that's not always the most complicated thing to be able to figure out how to defend. Just give yourself a couple of yards, and if you've got the pace of Rudiger, you'll probably be okay there. So it's not been on their mind to work together as a duo, two centre-backs or anybody at all. So, yeah, they switched off, 100%. Of all those mistakes there, Neuer's was awful. It was a terrible punch. He could easily have caught that. You're absolutely spot on. I think that the lack of willingness to get that tackle in midfield that you're talking about, the fact that there was not a chance on the planet that he was going to win that was going to be a Paraguayan that was going to win that tackle, and he did. And that summed up the desperation there is in the tackling. And it's a skill, and tackling is a skill. And we've seen 3 or 4 tackles in this first half, and maybe particularly from Canali more than anyone else, that have been absolutely perfect. I mean, don't get them wrong, you're going off the pitch, but they've been perfect. They've been quite high, but they've been catching the ball clean. And I think there's a few German players out there that think, I don't fancy getting into that tackle. Well, I'll tell you what, it's cost you.
Former German defender Arne Friedrich and EuroLeague's regular Rafa Honigstein with us as well. I mean, that's just disappointing, Arne, on virtually every level from Germany.
Yeah, of course. I'm listening very carefully to your conversation, and especially from a former defender's perspective, it really bleeds my heart to see those mistakes. There were so many mistakes in one situation. Pavlovic lets Almiron run freely. There's no defender in the box. Manuel Neuer didn't look strong there. I mean, it's simply not enough. I mean, we have so much ball possession, but ball possession does not win games. We move the ball from left to right, but the thing that we are really missing is more vertical runs. We had one situation in the 29th minute when Kimmich gave the ball to Sané. It was dangerous, but besides that, it's all too slow, and it's a very dangerous game for us as well because we have so much ball possession, and sometimes in those few moments when Paraguay has the ball, the defenders, I mean, they fell asleep, and it's definitely not enough. We have to see a different team in the second half. If not, it's going to be the end tonight.
Yeah, slow, careless, lackluster, Raf.
Yeah, the big joke on German social media is that only one big substitution can help Germany. Klopp on for Nagelsmann at half-time. He is in the stadium. But to make a more serious point, yeah, I mean, I think Germany were happy with the pace of the game as long as it was 0-0. I think the idea was, we will grind them down, we'll keep passing, and maybe it'll take 60, 70 minutes, but we will find the opening, let them run, let them do the work, and we will find a way. But of course, the goal changes everything, and now the urgency is on Germany to play quicker and to force the issue, and nerves and tension will come into it. And it's going to be really difficult. They made life difficult for themselves by defending really poorly. I think Neuer, you're a little bit harsh on him. His punch went about 30 meters into his own half. I think that is enough work done as a goalkeeper in a very congested box. But then what happens afterwards was fairly poor. And Paraguay are worth their lead at this point.
And you look at how well organised they are, Arna, Paraguay, and even though Germany will have to be quicker and will have to force it, they're so well set up in this formation that it is going to take something special to break them down. I mean, Germany nigh on 80% possession, and they've had one shot on target.
Yeah, you're totally right. But that was the expected game in the beginning. We knew that they would sit deep. They would defend very disciplined, and that's the reason why I said, especially in the final third, we need vertical runs. Even though it sounds a little weird, vertical runs in the final third is so important, and we see that on the highest level, it's very important and it's doable as well. But if you pass the ball from left to right in a slow pace, then of course you don't find any pockets in there. And coming back to Manuel Neuer, there's a big discussion about him, of course. And in this situation, I agree, he punched it out. But on the other hand, it's also his job to organize his defense. You know, and when the cross came, there was no one standing next to Enciso. And I think that's also a little bit on Manuel Neuer, without blaming him only on the goal.
Raf, Arna, for the time being, thank you very much. Second half from Foxborough on the way, where Paraguay lead Germany by 1-0. The first day of Wimbledon is over. Russell Fuller.
With a victory in 3 hours and 11 minutes mark on centre court for Novak Djokovic, but it was some tussle with Wu Yibing of China, the world number 102, who was absolutely smashing the cover off the ball and made life very difficult for Djokovic indeed. Djokovic winning by 3-1 by taking the fourth set 6-4, but he had to save 6 break points before he got that all-important break. But in his 21st Wimbledon, Djokovic has a 103rd Wimbledon victory and has a very interesting second-round match to look forward to now against Stefanos Tsitsipas, a player he's met in one of his Grand Slam finals before.
Away from sort of some of the big names and Novak Djokovic, awful day on the whole for British tennis.
Dismal. 10 players completed their matches, 10 lost. Jack Pennington-Jones survived, but that is because daylight intervened when he was trailing Brandon Nakashima by 2-0. 9 of those players were all playing higher-ranked opponents. The draw had not been particularly kind to the British players, and a lot of them are very, very lowly ranked and wildcards. The big disappointment today, Mark, was Cameron Norrie, who'd been short of matches because of a rib injury, losing in 5 sets, a 5th set tiebreak to the American qualifier Michael Zheng. And just to compound the misery, really, Jack Draper pulled out at 2:30 this afternoon, not able to play Taylor Fritz tomorrow because his bone bruise injury on his serving arm has resurfaced. And of course, late last night we got the news that Emma Raducanu wasn't going to be able to play either because of a stress fracture of the shin.
Russell, thank you very much. Wimbledon coverage back underway from 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon here on 5 Live and on BBC Television as well. 29 minutes past 10, Jill Mackenzie has the news.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The voice of the UK and the FIFA World Cup 2026.
The British Medical Association says resident doctors in England have accepted an offer from the government to improve pay and working conditions, ending 3 years of industrial action. The deal also includes more funding for training places. Andy Burnham's promised good growth in every postcode if he becomes Prime Minister. He says he'd devolve more power away from London, including setting up a number 10 North in Manchester. He also wants to build more council houses, rethink education and cut the welfare bill. 6 adults have been killed in a shooting at a centre for women and children in Stade in northern Germany. Police say the suspected gunman is in a custody dispute over his baby daughter. And tributes have been paid to The Good Life and To the Manor Born actress Dame Penelope Keith, who's died at the age of 86. Her co-star Felicity Kendall described her as a comic genius.
The FIFA World Cup 2026
with Mark Chapman
on 5 Live Sports.
OK, let's hear from Ollie Watkins, who made his first appearance in this World Cup when he came on in the 84th minute in England's 2-0 win over Panama. He's been speaking to Alex Howell.
You've been here for a while now, in America. What have you done to pass the time, or any nice American habits or experiences you've had?
So I've tried to stay away from the food, to be honest, because it's not the healthiest, as much as I want to indulge in that stuff. But look, I've just been going to play golf. We've been fortunate enough to be looked after at the golf courses around. Oakwood have been really good and really accommodating, so we've rocked up there, had caddies, and I met Patrick Mahomes yesterday, cool guy. So yeah, Tom Brady came into the camp, so a lot of cool faces flying around. But yeah, I've been playing golf. Really.
So you didn't tell Patrick Mahomes you had a Dallas Cowboys jersey yet?
I didn't. I did say to him though about the Dallas Stadium. I think that's my favourite, and he was just saying he started off there and telling me about his journey as well. So no, but I've got a Mahomes jersey as well.
Okay.
So I think you'll be happy with that. Tom Brady, I went in. Tom Brady, I think he came in to see Harry Kane. They were having a chat, and then I just briefly met him. Nice guy, and then. At the golf course yesterday, Patrick Mahomes was doing a photo shoot up there, and he said he wanted to meet us lads. So I was playing with Traff, and we went and spoke to him for a good 10 minutes, and yeah, it was nice just to have a formal chat. Yeah, it's just nice when you meet other athletes just to kind of pick their brains and talk about how they train and how they live their life.
Did it put a bit more pressure on your swing when you were trying to play with him watching?
No, luckily he wasn't. They weren't recording my swing, and he didn't see it. So I'm quite thankful for that.
And let's go on to the tournament. So what's it like you trying to make an impact? I know everyone speaks about you, the difficult job you have trying to back up Harry Kane, but if we look back at the last tournament, you probably had the most famous impact of all, scoring a 90th minute winner in a major tournament. So does that fill you with confidence, and how do you approach this tournament itself after that?
Yeah, I feel like I'm very calm. I think, looking back at the Euros, the most minutes I played were in the semi-final and the final, so everyone has their moment. I'm just working hard every day. Football can change so quickly, you never know what's around the corner, so just be patient, and everyone's going to have their part to play. Look, we're going to be playing in games in quick succession. The games are going to be very physical, and sometimes you're going to have to look to the bench to change things. So yeah, I'm going to be ready, and when I do, I know I've got an opportunity in front of me, and I need to take it.
I know you're a Premier League striker, elite level. You wouldn't be with England otherwise, but you seem the most confident, I think, that from the outside after establishing yourself with Aston Villa, winning a trophy, now another big major tournament with England. Do you feel like that?
Yeah, I think because physically I'm at my best, and I think that's my superpower, to always be sprinting and getting around the pitch and causing defenders havoc. If I'm not doing that and I don't feel at my best, then there was a little bit of doubt in my mind. Obviously I was getting a little bit older, so there was that creeping in. It's nice that's gone now, and I just finished the back end of the season, really strong, off the back of winning European trophy. I think that was major for me, massive for the club, and for me. I've always fallen short in competitions, so it was nice to finally get that, and it was really sweet.
You said your superpower physicality, because the doubt is gone. Is that as freeing as being in good shape as well?
Yeah, I don't overthink things. I think when you're not feeling your best, tendon pain, you're playing games every 3 or 4 days, it's hard to recover. As you get older, that does creep into your mind. So like I said, there was a period of doubt, but I feel really good now, so that's long gone.
Ollie Watkins there ahead of England's game against DR Congo, which is Wednesday afternoon. You'll be able to watch it on BBC One, and of course listen to it with us here on 5 Live. I think the teams are starting to come back out in Foxborough, Germany, 45 minutes away from going out of the 2026 World Cup. Are they making changes? Back to Patania.
Well, Germany are out early, Mark, but there's no sign of Paraguay just as yet, and Julian Nagelsmann has clearly delivered some stern words to the German players, and he's going to make one change, because we can see Goretzka, who's just currently tying up his bootlace on his left foot. So Goretzka's going to be coming on, and not necessarily the player that we thought might come on, Pat.
No, Musiala, obviously one that would be an expectation. I mean, you don't actually need a back four against a team that's playing 2 up front. A back 3 is good enough, so you can actually get rid of one of your full-backs and add a little bit going forward. Now, they were asking one of the full-backs to go and add themselves in to the midfield during the first half. And actually, fact, you don't forget about the fullbacks. You get another attack-minded player, another creative player on, and that might make it a little bit easier to create something. By the way, it's been a long time the German team's been out of here, isn't it?
Yeah.
A long, long time.
Metch is the player who's gone off, or will be going off. Now, he can play as a 6, an 8, or a 10. But so clearly Pavlovic is the one who's just going to sit now in that defensive role, but they're looking for something more from the midfield.
To me, it's one of those ones where this is no time to be anything other than bold. You've got to be bold now. The World Cup is actually hanging by a thread if you're Germany just now. This is a team, you're playing against a team that's set up to do one thing, is defend and not give you chances. They've only given you basically half a chance in this entire first half. You would expect something, I would say, a wee bit more extreme. It's not happened yet, but I'm looking at the way they're lining up now. Goretzka's went really wide right here. Really wide right, which makes you think, you know, will they ask Sané or Wirtz, maybe probably much more Wirtz, to go a little bit more central and create from that sort of area in the gaps. And by the way, there aren't many of them just now in the gaps between the centre of the midfield and the defence.
Paraguay are now out, as is our Moroccan referee, Jalal Jayed, who's just going to get this game restarted. So Germany in the second half will be playing from left to right, all white, but all is far from right. It's not quite the night just as yet. Here we are in the evening in Boston as they trail by a goal to nil. Neuer is in goal, Kimmich, Tah, Rudiger and Brown. Sané, Pavlovic, Goretzka, Wirtz, Undav and Havertz. As for Paraguay and their change strip, the all-navy, Orlando Hill is in goal, Caceres, Canali, Gustavo Gomez and Alonso as the defence. Almiron, Cubas, Bobadilla and Galaz are the midfield, and Enciso and Avalos up front for Paraguay. And it's Enciso's goal that gives Paraguay the lead, and they are 45 minutes away from progressing through to the last 16. And Germany have 45 minutes to salvage their World Cup here in the United States. Julian Nagelsmann will be getting a grilling from the German media if it stays like this. There's already a lot of talk that he is going to be bidding farewell as Enciso comes forward now for Paraguay, and in the shade has the cross blocked, and despite the best efforts from Kimmich, it will go out of play for a throw.
He is all action, Enciso. It's been absolutely fantastic all the way. He's chased and chased and chased. And it's not cool down there. It's going to be very, 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 very warm down there. But there's a bit of shade in the corners as well, so that might help him.
Junior Alonso plays for Atletico Mineiro in Brazil with a long looping throw that goes over the head of Rudiger. Wirtz's clearance is picked up straight by Andres Cubas in the midfield. Caceres delivers a low ball. Goretzka with a left-footed clearance for Germany, and then over on that far side in the sunshine is Gustavo Gomez to pass the ball back to the goalkeeper Hill, who's got time to pick his spot, but despite that time he passes the ball left-footed long straight to the feet of Rudiger. Early in the second half, 5 live, but Germany are behind. Kimmich running forward near side the right. Sané delivers a left-footed cross, swung in with pace. Undav was looking to try and get on the end of that, repelled by the Paraguayan defence. What was the possession stat? 63% in favour of Germany. They're going to see a lot of the ball, but can they break down this Paraguayan side? Because when it comes to clear-cut chances, few and far between so far. Goretzka makes the run into the penalty area. Now cleared. Ball by Golaza towards Enciso. Enciso gets there before Tah can. Tah back pedal. Sané has to try and help out Enciso. Shields the ball towards Golaza, tries to nick it into the path of the former Brighton man, and Paraguay have retained the ball now inside German territory. Still they lead by a goal to nil. Golaza. Enciso. Golaza waits. He was the one who got the assist for the goal for the Enciso header. Little touch there by Almiron down the line, didn't keep the ball in play. Germany have a throw 2 minutes into the second half.
Well, that word you used there, very, very important. They retained the ball. The thing is, there were long periods the first half. They weren't retaining the ball when they were breaking forward. That time they did. Maybe if the manager as actually Alfaro's done anything. He said to him, when you get the chances, you need to hold it a little bit. You need to give that back line a break now and again. Eventually good players, and there are a lot of good players in this German side, they will take advantage of it if you give them that amount of time on the ball. But at the moment, they've started really well in this second half. They started the first half well, the Paraguayans.
Yes, they did, yeah. Germany trailing 1-0. Pat Nevin with us here on 5 Live. You can watch this game on BBC One, but every time there's any game on the BBC television, you've got the facility through the iPlayer and the BBC Sport website to watch and listen as Kimmich delivers a ball deep into the penalty area, headed out by Caceres. Brown tried to get on the end of that. So, for instance, forthcoming games would be Ivory Coast, Norway, and England DR Congo on Wednesday, a 5 o'clock kickoff. You can watch it and listen to the 5 Live commentary. Here is Sane in the sunshine to Goretzka. Challenge came in well from Kubas. And Ciso back towards, oh no, couldn't get it. Kimmich there with the interception, and Rudiger will quickly pass the ball out wide. Wirtz still stays on that left-hand side. Brown on the inside of him, back to the Liverpool man, but Wirtz was coming back from an offside position. And the assistant referee on this near side raises his flag, and the Paraguayan substitutes, 4 of them behind him, all applaud.
I think they were all shouting for it behind the referees or the assistants back there as well. But intriguing, they've tried to play it a little bit quicker in the start of the second half of Germans. I mean, they had to. It was far too pedestrian in that first half. Also getting into the middle a little bit quicker, you know, when it goes out to Sane, you know, don't necessarily have to go to the line, just get it in with a bit of pace.
Oh, that's a poor back pass from Kimmich, and Ciso's in there, and then Neuer was quickly off his goal line. He sold his goalkeeper short, and Ciso tried to just tickle the ball past Neuer and just couldn't get enough of a purchase on it, and Neuer was able to make the save, but that was a real scare for Germany, who are already trailing by a 1-0. You wouldn't fancy them coming from 2-0 down.
Well, you just look at how many times goals have been lost by that sort of lazy defensive play in this World Cup so far. I mean, I felt a little bit sorry for Japan, but they were trying to play it out for the back, and they get caught in the last minute today.
Kimmich with a ball into the penalty area over everybody's heads, and in a diagonal passage it goes straight out of play for a goal kick. Germany are the current joint top scorers in this competition with 10, along with the Netherlands and France, although it helps when you've scored 7 in one game against Curaçao. But I mentioned in the first half about the fact that their last clean sheet was in the final in 2014. So that's 10 games now where they haven't kept a clean sheet in the World Cup. They've now conceded 14 during that run. That's a real problem for Germany, who continue to labour.
Do you want some more bad news for the Germans? In that game in 2018 with over in Kazan, where they lost to South Korea, I was doing the commentary that day as well, and that was a nightmarish time for the German national team.
So what you're saying is you're a German jinx?
It would appear so.
Rudiger, Tatar, central defender. Back it goes to Rudiger. Actually, Neuer was willing to come into the centre circle there to collect that ball, but Pavlovic, with all the urgency, did so, and that's a sloppy ball in between Kimmich, and there's a few hoots there, and the supporters aren't happy. Goes straight out of play for a throw.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, there's absolutely no need to do that. That just shows frustration, but also a little bit of panic there. You don't. That's not what you associate with the German national team. But definitely a little bit of panic there. It's not started the way they wanted. They've got the ball wide 3 or 4 times, and they've tried to get it into the middle there with a little bit of pace. So far, hasn't quite worked. And I'm looking at Kai Havertz, who's come over to this side here. The last place that they want Kai Havertz is on the wing. If anyone's likely to score a headed goal with these crosses, it's him for the German team.
They're going to make a change very, very soon of Paraguay. If you actually look back at their games in the group stages, normally Gustavo Alvaro will make a change at half-time. He'll make another change around the hour mark, and then he makes 3 late substitutions for fresh legs. He didn't make one at half-time, but he's going to make one early in the second half, because Caballero, the Portsmouth winger, is going to be coming on. Gustavo Caballero had a loan spell at Portsmouth on loan from Santos, 12 appearances and a goal that is during his time at Fratton Park. So he waits to come on. Germany still have the ball, trailing by a 1-0, 7 minutes into the second half. This is Kimmich. They're not really doing much with the ball at this stage of Germany. Here is Sane. Gives it to Wirtz. Wirtz now with Tar, the central defender. Wirtz was caught late. The referee lets play continue. Rudiger 30 yards out from goal, forward ball. Undav looking to turn. In the group stages, Germany, they came from behind against Ivory Coast to win 2-1, with Undav getting 2 goals, but on that occasion he was a substitute brought on around the hour mark. He's made his first start today and hasn't had many opportunities. He's a natural goal poacher. In it goes towards Havertz, easily marshalled by Canale. Just used his body to hold off the leap of Havertz through to the goalkeeper.
He's been so impressive, Canale. You know, he's playing against a very good player in Havertz who knows how to arrive late there. He comes in there and he just leaves his body in a position where Havertz is going to run into him as he jumps. He then loses his balance and gets nowhere near the ball. Very, very clever defender.
This is Wirtz now on the far side, fires over the cross. Havertz with the header, in it goes. Germany are level. 8.5 minutes into the second half. The delivery was brilliant from the left-hand side. Just needed a touch from Kai Havertz to guide the ball past the despairing dive of Orlando Hill. And Kai Havertz, with his 3rd goal of this World Cup, brings Germany level. 1-1.
Stunning relief there for the Germans, because he just done a really good bit of defending against Havertz, but what Havertz didn't do is turn off. I was saying about 3 or 4 minutes ago, Havertz had gone to the right-hand side, standing out the wing, and said, do not go out there. The last place you want Havertz is out there. The most likely to score with his head is Kai, and it is an absolutely brilliant header. He's got his back to the goal, and he still manipulates the ball with pace right into the corner. No chance the goalkeeper can do anything about it.
And because of the pace of the ball from the left-hand side, it just needed the touch, because from the header from Havertz.
Yeah, since the start of the second half, that's what they've done. They've not tried to get to the byline. They've got the ball in with a little bit of pace. Sane's done it a couple of times, 3 or 4 times. Even Kimmich tried it a few times. It's about getting the ball into the box that little bit quicker. Less of the intricate stuff along the sort of wide areas. Strange enough, Wirtz kept on doing his own game and didn't change it at all. However, the rest of the players got the message, got the ball in, and they've got a little bit of an advantage from doing it quickly.
And for the Germans, breathe. 1-1. Wirtz to Undav. Couldn't roll away from his man, Gustavo Gomez. Picked up by Wirtz, looking to Sane. Loose ball by Goretzka, blocked. Also having a little pop there was Pavlovic. Enciso, incidentally, is still down, holding his head. I'm surprised the referee hasn't stopped players yet. Floated forward towards Brown, cushion header, Almiron. Now he stops it. Now he's spotted that Enciso is down.
Yeah, it hasn't really moved a great deal. I don't actually think it was a head injury, but we shall see. It's gone over. The referee's having a look with him. That's actually the first time he stopped just about the entirety of this whole game. Enciso has ran so well. But what lift it's given the Germans now, it's a brilliant moment for them. And I would say one thing for Paraguay, you do feel a little bit of sympathy. They were trying to make a substitution for 3 or 4 minutes before that goal was scored, just to get a little bit more balance, a little bit more legs in there, defensive nous in there. They didn't get it made before the goal was scored.
Gustavo Caballero has come on. He has replaced Avalos, so this is his first appearance at this World Cup, because the 24-year-old, making his 3rd appearance for his country, didn't feature at all in the group stages. And Enciso appears to be walking rather heavily, limping, and he's now been told to come off the field, so they're going to be down to 10. But you can certainly feel that sense of relief from the Germans as 12 minutes into the second half, 1-1.
Yeah, I think he's run his race. He worked so hard all the way through the start of that game. Actually, trying to see who is coming. Yeah, it's going to be Enciso. He's went 19-11. I don't think Enciso knows yet he's off. He does now. The manager's told him.
So he is off. Maurizio has come on. He's a midfielder, a Brazilian-born attacking midfielder who opted to play for Paraguay, the land of his father, and this is just his 6th appearance. It's his 3rd outing here at this World Cup. All of them have been off the bench. Second half against the United States and against Australia, so he replaces Enciso. But they're going to miss the running of Enciso.
Well, do it. You'll see what Caballero can give from Maurizio's going to give a little bit up front as well. And it's fresh legs as much as anything else. So you're looking at the Germans here once again. They've kind of tried to go to that back three, giving a little bit of chance to play Pavlovic in a deeper role there. That allows more players to go wider, a little bit higher up the field. I don't think Goretzka's had a great involvement in the game so far, but just one or two little touches of open space up for them.
Brown out to Wirtz, rolls it towards Undav. Undav with a layoff to Brown. The left back, though, had been knocked to the ground, and he was still getting back to his feet when Undav with the first time layoff. As a result, the move breaks down. It goes out for a goal kick, that Paraguay are going to take it. So fresh legs up front for Maurizio and Caballero for Paraguay, who will be looking just to stay in the game and think extra time and penalties.
To be honest, I don't think they thought that one goal would necessarily last.
Almiron forward, might change if they can score here. Maurizio with the cross, Caballero's downward header. There was no pace on the cross, and as a result the downward header from Caballero went straight, bouncing down into the hands of Manuel Neuer, away towards our left in yellow in that shaft of sunlight.
But he shouldn't have got onto it. Pavlovic was there, he was favourite to win the ball, he just didn't get up. And he ran in front of him, got a header now, didn't get a lot of power on it, headed it down, and that's a very easy one for Neuer. He should not have been allowed to win the header in the first place.
The winners of this will meet either France or Sweden in the last 16 in Philadelphia on July the 4th. A potential quarter-final against, I don't know, Canada or the Dutch or Morocco in Boston on July the 9th. Canada, of course, are through to the last 16 after beating South Africa by 1-0. And Brazil, earlier on 5 Live, you might have heard, beating Japan with Martinelli's injury time winner by 2-1. They'll take on Ivory Coast or Norway in the last 16. Tomorrow we will have Ivory Coast Norway. That's a 6 o'clock kickoff from Dallas, and France Sweden in New Jersey will be live from 10 o'clock as the games continue to come thick and fast. Tomorrow will be the 20th day of this World Cup in the United States, Canada and Mexico, being brought to you by BBC Radio 5 Live and the BBC Sounds app. We've got half an hour to go here in Boston. Germany 1, Paraguay 1. Germany back level, but seeing a lot of the ball, and it's with Havertz fouled. Free kick.
Again, Havertz is one of my favourite players playing in modern football today because of the intelligence of his movement. All his time at Chelsea, all his time at Arsenal, he just drifts fabulously. Like as I said right at the start of the game, he ghosts, and you really can't mark him because he will go a little bit deeper. If you go deeper with him, it leaves a space behind. He's really, really clever. And a couple of times he's gone out wide. I think that's just to put the defenders off. That's for the defenders to think, oh, we don't have to worry about him for a minute. And then suddenly there he is, sneaking in at the back post. He's exceptionally good at it.
So this free kick, about 25 yards out from goal, 10 yards in from the right touch line. I thought it was going to be a choice of either the right-footed outswinger from Kimmich or the left-footed in-swinger from Brown, but the left back has walked away. So Kimmich is going to place this ball down here for Germany. They're playing from left to right as we look, and it is 1-1 here live in Boston. Kimmich to take it, right-footed, goes towards the far post. Above his head, two-handed take by Hill.
What about difference that? The ball's come in there. Is that any harder to catch than the one that Neuer punched that led to the goal? Right in front of him. This goalkeeper comes and catches it. Neuer's punching the ball. I mean, I might sound quite hard on certain goalkeepers, but if you've lost a goal because you punched it when it's right in front of you, it's actually at head height in front of you. So I'm a wee bit harsher than our chaps at half-time on that one, because this goalkeeper, certainly he's caught everything that's came to him today.
Yes, he has. Manuel Neuer, his 23rd start at a World Cup, creates a German record, beating that of Miroslav Klose and Lothar Matthäus with 22, as Paraguay put the ball in, aimed towards Junior Alonso, the left back who was forward. Caceres now picks it up on that right-hand side, runs forward. His cross, though, is very, very deep, bounces off the chest of Gustavo Gomez, and it will go out of play for a goal kick. Incidentally, he might have beaten that record, but Klose and Lothar Matthäus have still made more appearances. That starts at a World Cup, as Germany are going to make a change. And Undaf is coming off his first start, unable to add to it, and the cheers from the German supporters are because Musiala is coming on. There's been a lot of talk about how fit he would be. Only got his first 90 minutes for Bayern Munich after that terrible injury at the Club World Cup in America last year. Broke a leg and dislocated an ankle. First 90 minutes in March. But Musiala now will go into a central area, and Undaf makes way for him.
He's not really had much opportunity, has he? Undaf, you know, he's a player who exists and lives in spaces in defences when players turn off. Problem is, not a single Paraguayan has done that in this game so far. Just a little bit off the ball there. Referee's let it play on.
That was Galasa and Musiala who were involved, and Galasa quickly back to his feet. Clearance on this near side by Junior Alonso, looking towards Caballero. Retrieved though by Rudiger. 64 minutes played on 5 Live. Germany 1, Paraguay 1. Sane down the line, right hand side towards Havertz, who got the equaliser. Back it goes to Sane. Kimmich is further back. Kimmich now bypasses Tar. Rudiger has got time to control this ball outside the centre circle. Wirtz stays wide, left hand side. There's a little nibble there from Andres Kubas, and he's shown a yellow card. Catching Havertz. Yellow card for the Paraguayan midfielder. 1-1.
It's one of those ones I wondered, you know, how bad it was. But looking at the reaction of Kubas, yeah, that's probably a yellow card because he just looked as if, yeah, I'll take that one, I'll accept that one. Got there as quickly as I could, nowhere near quick enough. None of the ball, plenty of the player. It was just the referee's having a look at that one that was going on off the ball between Musiala. I wonder if he's going to take any action about that. He's had a look at it, he's had a think about it. We haven't started play, but I think he's going to let it go.
Kai Havertz, 5 in 5 in the last of his World Cup matches. He scored 2 at the last World Cup, got 2 in the last of the Euros in 2024, and now that is 3 that he scored here at this tournament. As Paraguay have got everybody back to defend this free kick. It is fractionally right of centre, and they've got a wall of 4, but there's gaps in the wall, and then they've also got somebody in the draft excluded lying behind that wall as well, as now that wall just tightens up. Orlando Hill is happy with it. This is Wirtz who's eyeing it up. There's also Sane as well. It is 1-1, 5 Live. Still on this very pleasant evening, and still not a cloud in the sky here in Massachusetts. Sane or Wirtz. It is Sane, left-footed, into the wall, diverts away towards the far side. That will allow Gustavo Gomez, the captain, to get the clearance, and in fact his touch has gone behind, and he's conceded a corner.
Oh, he thought it was off one of the opponents there when the ball was headed out. It wasn't. It was his own player there. That's a bit of a mistake. That tough one for the goalkeeper. That I noticed that where the ball was coming from was right out of the sun, and the keeper couldn't really see it well. That was one of those ones to get on target and ask the goalkeeper a question. Sane couldn't manage.
Germany then have got a corner kick far side to left. It's an in-swinger drilled in towards the near post, and a flying header out at the near side of the 6-yard box by Almiron sends it behind that goal away towards our right-hand side. Will Kimmich offer a little bit more variation for this next corner kick? A successive corner to come in from the left. Still 1-1 on 5 Live. Kimmich does get a little bit more elevation, and it brushes off the top of the head of the Paraguayan defenders, and the referee has spotted a foul, and that will be a free kick to Paraguay. Where do you stand on the argument that, yeah, good story for Paraguay to go through, but it wouldn't be good for the tournament for a team that doesn't really want to come out and play football?
Well, they don't want to come out and play football, but there is an art in defending, and you've got to accept there's an art in defending, and they've shown that they're very, very good at that. I have less sympathy and patience with large nations who play that way. The smaller nations who play that way, there's no other way to do it, because they basically come out and play, they're going to get beat anyway. So, yeah, I've got a bit of sympathy for Paraguay if they get through today. they deserve it, even if it goes to penalty kicks.
Caballero has been fouled, and Paraguay have got a free kick on this near side, the left. Still it remains 1-1, and we're at the midway point of the second half. So we'll have the drinks break, I'm sure, after that, as Almiron, just in from the left touchline on this near side, waits to take it. Only one standing in front of him. Partially cleared, comes out towards Caceres, picks it up on that far side. Cross, though, was blocked by Musiala, and it will go out for a Paraguay throw.
They get very few times up the pitch, don't they? Very few. But they try to make the best of them. They've got a long throw here. That's another weapon of armour. They haven't taken it. Germans fell for that.
Caceres, right-hand side. Does he win a corner kick? Or does it go out? Yes, it is a corner kick. Right down by the far side, attacking the end where the majority of the German supporters are housed here in Boston.
And that's the thing to remember. I mean, it was from a corner kick and a breakaway that they managed to get the goal in the first half. So, I mean, you talk about the defensiveness, but every single Paraguayan player is up there, out towards. Most of them are actually inside the 18-yard line, apart from the goalkeeper.
Canale is forward, Gustavo Gomez is forward. It's an in-swinging corner kick, and in fact it came towards Gustavo Gomez, but his downward header bounced into the arms of Neuer, who tries for the early release, but the referee has blown his whistle. And now Germany aren't happy with that, because that wasn't a natural break in play. I'm not too sure why the referee's blown his whistle, well, and he stopped a counter-attack.
Yeah, he made a mistake. The referee made a bad mistake there. Neuer was bumped a little bit, with the player going back, and he's blown his whistle before Neuer made the throw. Leave it. It's okay. You came for the free kick in 3 or 4 seconds. If he left it, it was a break. It was a brilliant break for the Germans there, because it was a great throw by Neuer, and a referee, well, simply he made a mistake.
Sana to Musiala. Musiala right-hand side of the penalty area. Held up by Kubas. Back it goes to Sane. 2 players ahead of him, and the challenge comes in, and there's the drinks break. As we are now 69 minutes into this game. Germany 1, Paraguay 1, and we're 20 minutes away from the possibility of extra time.
And the one thing you would say about the Paraguayans, had you given them this result at this point before the game, snap your hand off. Absolutely snap your hand off for it. Yeah, it's a great position for them to be in. They understand that they were ahead. There are some teams and some groups that if you're ahead and you lose a goal, psychologically it's hard. I don't think it is for the Paraguayans. They're set up to play a certain way, and they know that's how they're going to play. So I don't think they're spooked by this at all. For the Germans, all the pressure's on them, all the expectations on them. Yes, they have scored the goal for Kai Havertz, but let's be fair, have they created a lot more? Really, very, very little in this game. You talk about chances, shots and goal. They've been extremely limited for the Germans, even though they've had plenty of the ball.
We're in the company of Pat Nevin here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Day 2 of Wimbledon tomorrow. Gigi Salmon and Claire McDonald with you from 1 o'clock live on 5 Live. It's been a grim day for the British players. You'll hear all about that in the Wimbledon Daily podcast. There's a new TMS podcast. Ben Stokes talking about his decision to retire after England all out for 212 to lose the series to New Zealand 2-1. New Zealand winning that test at Trent Bridge by 160 runs. We've still got more World Cup football for you. 2 o'clock, the game from Monterrey. The winners will meet Canada. Netherlands against Morocco. That's in the company of Mike Maine and Clinton Morrison. And then tomorrow, Ivory Coast, Norway at 6 o'clock. That's from Dallas. France against Sweden at 10, live from New Jersey. After 5 Live Sport tonight, John Jansen will be next with you. And then Dotun Adebayo will take you through the night leading into that game between Netherlands and Morocco. But as the drinks break continues here, Pat, Germany, they're a functional side at best.
Yeah, I do think the first quarter of the second half, the first half of the second half has actually been the best part of the game so far. They look a little bit more controlled. As soon as they got the goal from Kai Havertz, I think the comfort came back a little bit. Without them being brilliant, yeah, functional is a good description of them. They passed it a little bit better. They've moved the ball into the box a little bit quicker, with a little bit more danger in it, without being absolutely fabulous. So yeah, an improvement for the Germans. Are they brilliant so far? Or are they a team that you're thinking, wow, they could win the World Cup? No, it doesn't look like that sort of team just now. But as we know, in the past, Germany have improved into the World Cups. So far, not getting the best out of Wirtz. I mean, absolutely not getting the best out of Wirtz. Not getting the best out of Sané. Just now, I'd say Kai Havertz gets half pass marks because he's moving, and obviously because of his goal. So if they could get their best players playing at their best, there can be a special team. That's certainly not happened today.
Well, we're back underway after that hydration break. Still it remains 1-1. Germany with Wirtz coming in from that left-hand side, sends over the cross off the chest of Havertz, bounces behind him. Kimmich will pass the ball forward towards Sané. Germany, remember, playing from left to right, playing all white against Paraguay, all in navy. Tar, forward ball, comes back to the central defender, quickly passes it off his left boot to his left towards Rudiger. This is Pavlovic, but Paraguay have dropped off. And they've got to try and find a way through after they fell behind to Enciso's header late in the first half. Sané with a cross! I think that might well have touched Jose Canales' head, and it fizzed towards the goalkeeper, but Hill, with his handling, was assured.
Again, it's coming out that precise area where the sun is in the goalkeeper's eyes. So you get a deflection, it comes to you there. It's a really problematic one, but it seemed to have no effect. I have to say, so far, Hill he's been superb in goal. He's not really put a foot wrong or a hand wrong, but then again, he's not actually been asked to do that much either.
Ball from Paraguay on that far side, the right, goes straight through towards Neuer, who hurls it out, overarm towards Kimmich. And the ball just slows down to allow Kimmich to run onto it just short of the halfway line. Sané's touch was heavy, actually ran back into trouble to give it away towards Maurizio. Caballero passes the ball forward, Almiron with a layoff towards Caballero, and Caballero then passes the ball back to Caceres, the right back, and then Gustavo Gomez just clears the ball long. It was a rather aimless ball that will be tidied up by Rudiger. Mentioned in the first half that this is the first time that they've reached the knockout stages, Germany, since 2014, and how they'd failed to get out of the group stages in both Russia and Qatar. But prior to that, they'd reached the semi-finals in the previous 4 World Cups. 2002, as host nation in 2006, South Africa, and then Brazil in 2014, where, of course, they were the winners. I'd be surprised if they could get to the last 4 on this occasion. Wirtz with a cross from the right-hand side, deflected and picked up by Hill.
The real problem that Paraguay have got just now is with no Enciso, they've not got an out ball, really. You know, they've Maurizio chasing, hassled up there as much as they possibly can, but he's not going to go beyond the defenders. And you can see that both of them, Tar and Rudiger back there, they now feel as if they're in a comfortable position. Having said that, they thought they were comfortable before the goal, didn't they? In fact, they got a little bit too comfortable and they switched off for the goal. And maybe that's what Paraguayans, in fact, I'm sure that's what they're hoping for now.
Here is Almiron. Almiron keeps the ball in play on the near side, the left. Not quite level with the penalty area. That was a poor ball. It goes straight towards Havertz. Havertz picks it up and drives forward, midway through his own half, into the centre circle and passes it to his left. And Wirtz now continues to run forward. Havertz has made a run out towards the left-hand side, and now he's been found by Wirtz. Back towards Wirtz. That was a poor ball as well. And there was Kubas to pass it forward. And the potential break for Paraguay could be on here. Slowed down by Maurizio into the German half. Slides out of the way of Musiala's challenge. Back then it goes towards Alonso, and the left back has pulled it a little bit, and it allows the right back Caceres to collect it midway through his own half. 1-1 Pat Nevin.
Do you know, any time, or most times when the Paraguayans get a break and they get 2-on-2, ends up with their own goalkeeper because they haven't got the pace to get away. This time Almiron's in though.
This is the ball played forward, Caballero in towards the area, and coming back was a combination of Rudiger as well as Tar, but it was a late flag that was raised, and the substitute, who was bumped to the floor, and the free kick has already been taken.
Made a good run there, but to be honest, he didn't curl the run enough. He's a good foot or even a yard offside there, which is, when you're playing against the quality of Rudiger, that's a long way. He knows what he's doing.
Cross from Wirtz, hanging ball, Havertz with a header, beaten away by the goalkeeper on his goal line. It was one of those balls that was so inviting, and Havertz, it was more or less straight at Hill. He just had to move a fraction to his left to push the ball away.
It's a fantastic chance for Kai Havertz. classically the one that he loves more than anything else. He's drifted in between two centre-backs. He found that space that other strikers really struggle to find. And I think he just wants to get it on target with a bit of pace, headed down, expecting it to bulge the net. But the goalkeeper was there once again, playing very well, the goalkeeper Hill.
This is Brown, the left back, central area, 25 yards out from goal. He was fouled, and it gives Germany a direct free kick here. When I say that there are 12 minutes remaining of normal time, it's slightly misleading because the clock doesn't stop when you've got the hydration break. So you can add at least 3 more minutes onto that.
On every single game they ever play here, absolutely. I think it'll be a bit more than that as well, because 1 or 2 little injuries and substitutions, of which there's going to be another one presently for the German side.
Yep, we're going to see Raum coming on, which would...
Waldemar?
Oh no, in fact it won't be Raum, will it? It will be Valdemar Anton, who's a central defender, just his second appearance. So a central defender coming on, and it's Pavlovic who's going off. And I wonder now if they'll go to 3 at the back and push Kimmich into midfield.
It's almost certain that they're going to do that, because we were wondering about that at half-time. There's no point in having 4 defenders back there. Oh yes, that's one of the full-backs to go in, but that makes perfect sense.
So the Borussia Dortmund defender, as this free kick is taken by Wirtz into the top of the wall, comes out to Sane, passes the ball to Kimmich. Kimmich now checks onto his left foot, delivers the cross into the penalty area. Goretzka was there. Paraguay prevent it from going behind for a corner kick.
Because the other thing you have to remember, you're going to bring a player on who's not small. Valdemar Anton, big centre-back. So when you get those crosses from set pieces and from corner kicks, he'll be up there as well.
So Anton, who made the last 7 minutes as his only appearance against Curaçao. Sane's cross. Caceres didn't get the shout, heads it away, but gets enough on it and helped further out by Almiron. But Germany now are going to dominate these next 10 minutes, these closing 10 minutes, in the hope of trying to prise open this Paraguayan side. 1-1 it remains on BBC Radio 5 Live. Here is Musiala. Musiala to Brown. Brown checks inside and allows a challenge to come in against the German left back, and Paraguay clear. Headed out by Rudiger towards the far side. It's going to be one-way traffic.
He brought something different, hasn't he, Musiala? He's finding different little pockets in there, and a nice little reverse pass there, so very cute from him. I expect to see a bit more from that, and he's almost in again. He was so close to being in again. Musiala is actually picking up some very, very, very good positions, and just as he's beginning to go on to the ball, he's called off for offside, but you can see that's a little bit better for him here. Get the ball into those areas, get them into quick. He's got great vision when he gets the ball with half a yard of space.
So with the 3 at the back now of Rudiger, Tah and Anton, Brown is the left wing back, Sane is the right wing back, and Kimmich has gone into the centre of midfield as the sort of like the sitter, and then you've got Musiala and Goretzka who are ahead of him, and Havertz and Wirtz is still staying on the left hand side, as is Havertz at the moment, who delivers the cross. Goretzka was there, couldn't get enough on it, and running the ball out of the penalty area on this near side is going to be Golaza, and it will go out for a Paraguay throw. 9 minutes remaining.
Again, it's a good ball down the left-hand side there. The cross is put in, but of course Havertz isn't in there. I'll tell you what, again, it's the defender in the middle there, both arms round the striker as he's going for the ball there. I think some referees would have taken a dim view of that. Paraguay got away with it again.
Gustavo Alvaro, the Argentine who's in charge of Paraguay. It is the 6th consecutive World Cup that he's worked at. 4 of them were for Colombian TV. In Qatar, he was in charge of Ecuador, but he has certainly instilled a lot of the DNA back into the Paraguayan side since he took charge, that fighting spirit, the structure, the organisation. And on their first World Cup appearance in 16 years, they still have, or harbour hopes of reaching the last 16, albeit the hard way, because in open play they're hanging on. They're going to have to go through extra time and be successful in a penalty shootout as Hill clears inside his penalty area. And can Germany, with 8 minutes remaining, get the goal, because the last thing they would want in this heat is another half an hour of football.
I tell you what, I know they're famous for being very good at penalty shootouts and are very good at them, but this goalkeeper they're up against today, I don't think they'd want that.
Musiala loses the ball. The break could be on here for Paraguay. It is with Maurizio able to turn his forward ball towards Caballero. It was a diagonal ball and tidied up well by Rudiger to Manuel Neuer.
Rudiger's done very well there, because, you know, Rudiger is lightning quick, or was lightning quick. Now, there might be a half a yard less pace there than there was in the past, but he is a clever player. He's hardly got off the halfway line himself today.
Here is Sane. 7 minutes remain. This is Havertz, who got the equaliser. Anton, infield to Tar. Rudiger to his left. Not too sure he was willing to receive the ball, so Tar went back towards the right-hand side. Wirtz's cross takes a deflection. The touch from Wirtz and from Havertz and the turn gave the ball away. Headed back by Kimmich. Musiala, very congested. Breaks towards Goretzka. Brown to his left, inside the area. First time cross. Blocked by Caceres, who now runs forward, and the right back sliding to try and curb that run was Goretzka, but Caceres has done well. And Paraguay now venture inside the German half. Maurizio, midway through the German half, holds on to the ball, tries the little flick, forces Bobadilla a little bit further back, but at least they still have the ball. 6 minutes to go, 1-1. A
wee bit easier for them as well, because Kai Havertz went down injured there, stayed in the Paraguay penalty box for quite some time, laid down, but he's not getting any interest from the referee there, so he's got himself back up. But that's much better from Paraguay. I mean, they hold the ball well, but they just haven't got quite enough pace now to break away. When they get those little 2-2s or 3-3s, you just think you've not got the skill, you've not got the pace to really cause a problem. And that showed the same there again.
5.5 minutes of normal time remain. Tar will give it towards Kimmich, now playing in midfield. This is Sane on the right-hand side. Paraguay, though, still have got many a navy shirt back behind the ball. Back it goes to Kimmich. This now is with Rudiger. Musiala is wanting to drop a little bit deep. Kimmich will give it back to Rudiger, but it's at a walking pace now. Just wonder whether this is the heat taking its toll.
Yeah, it probably is. It's a kind of weirdness, but every player gets tired. Every single player gets tired if they have to defend for this amount of time.
Sane unable to get past two Paraguayan defenders, Galasa and Alonso, but at least for his efforts he wins a corner kick that Florian Wirtz wants to take on this near side. Less than 5 minutes remaining on BBC Radio 5 Live. Wirtz with a corner kick, right hand side, inside the 6-yard area. Bit of a scramble, flags up, and it will be a free kick to Paraguay. There was a glancing header, but the flag was raised immediately.
Yeah, he looked off there. He was in front of the goalkeeper there, wasn't he? And he actually cleared it. It was really weird, they kind of cleared it. But once again, how many chances really have Germany had? I mean, you're talking about the Kai Havertz header apart from the goal.
Yeah.
That's about it. There's been very, very little else. It's very odd to see a German team have this much of the ball, get themselves in great positions, but do what? Do what special? Nothing special.
If England had played as badly as this, England would be getting slaughtered.
Yeah, absolutely the case. And they do get a tough time in their press. Don't worry about that. They do get a tough time in their press.
Under 4 minutes remaining. In fact, the only bits I've written down on the piece of paper in front of me are both the goals. The Enciso header after 43 minutes and the glancing header from Havertz after 54. 1-1. I can't recall, like you say, any other clear-cut chances for either side.
Well, this will change things up a wee bit, because the substitution they're going to make just now, every now and again you need to look at the number of the players gets on, but now and again you look at a player and you think, you don't look like anyone else. Voltemade should be coming on.
Only 2 outfield players for Germany are yet to feature at this World Cup. Nick Voltemade of Newcastle United is one of them, but Julian Nagelsmann has turned to him now with time running out. Less than 3 minutes of normal time remaining, and Nick Voltemade who scored 4 goals in 6 in qualifying, but struggled towards the end of that season for Newcastle United, whether he was a centre forward or a bit deeper, is coming on to try and salvage this stuttering World Cup campaign for Germany, and Sane is the player who goes off for Voltemade. And the cross from Musiala was blocked straight away. 1-1.
They've got plenty of attack-minded players up there, and they've plenty of height as well. And Goretzka's getting much further forward as well.
Cross towards the far side, and running into trouble was Wirtz. They lose the ball to Germany. Caceres can clear long for Paraguay, but they don't push on out after that ball, the navy shirts. They continue to sit deep, and by my watch we've got 2 minutes of normal time remaining. This now is Tar, a floundering, a faltering German performance here in the heat in Boston. Pat Nevin as Kimmich sprays the ball out towards Musiala. He now provides the width on the right-hand side, looks to go on the outside of Alonso, delivers the cross, strikes the leg of Canale. The clearance goes back in towards the penalty area, but Paraguay somehow managed to get the ball away. Caballero, was he being pulled back by Anton? Yes, he was. Free kick to Paraguay midway through their own half.
He's made a difference, Musiala. He really has, because he is a clever player, and he gets it in unusual positions, and he's caused probably more panic in that defence than any other player since he's come on the pitch. So yeah, that makes a difference for them. But look at the Germans now. They were desperate to finish this in 90 minutes, weren't they? And still are. But in the 89th, the 90th minute now, they would love to get one of these late goals that are now actually becoming very fashionable in this knockout stage.
In the last 32 so far, both games have been settled by injury time winners. Canada beating South Africa by 1-0 as Almiron races after the ball with all of his energy. Far side to right, back it goes to the right back Caceres, infield to Bobadilla, back towards Caceres, triangular passing patterns from Paraguay. And nicked into the path of Bobadilla on the right-hand side, stands over the cross. And then the header from Galaza, he tried to set up, I think, Bobadilla, the interception from Canale, but he couldn't get there, and the break is on for Germany. And Canale struggling to get back. Havertz runs forward, passes it towards Musiala. Little glance up, looks for the return ball to Havertz. Some tired defending by Paraguay. Can they get the ball clear? No. Anton flicks it. Musiala, right-hand side of the area. Back to Voltemade. Anton tees up Kimmich. Shot takes a deflection. Both sides are flat on their feet. Behind it goes for a corner kick. 1-1, 5 live.
Yeah, you can see the desperation though. That's the first time for quite some time the Paraguayans have left too many up front. They couldn't get back. They were desperately trying to get back, but they do look tired in that back line there. And I think the Germans up to pace at that point in time. They can see it, they can feel it. With 5 minutes to go, that's an eternity if you're a Paraguayan defender.
There are some really tired legs in that Paraguayan defence. Suited and booted is Gustavo Alvaro, who is desperately trying to get some instructions across to his players, and I think the assistant referee has drawn the referee's attention to the substitutes who are almost encroaching there onto the playing surface. So he's told them to take a step back. It is 1-1. We're in injury time. A minimum of 5 minutes of added time here in Boston. And it is a corner kick to Germany. It's an in-swinger from the right-hand side. Tar with a header straight into the arms of the goalkeeper, Orlando Hill.
And again, he holds it well. He can't hold on to it for too long, obviously. He's had to lash it long there, but there's a bit of a break. Neuer's come out.
His distribution goes all the way out to that far side. He was looking for Maurizio, but Neuer had it covered, and he was the one who just hands the ball for a German throw on that far side level, the penalty area, their left, as they play from left to right. I noticed the stat from Opta, after Martinelli scored in the 95th minute for Brazil to beat Japan by 2-1, that since Opta started their stats, which was back in '66, that was the latest goal in the 95th minute in the World Cup. As this is Almiron chucking forward. Almiron's shot takes a deflection. That could have gone anywhere. Strikes the back of Anton, loops into the German supporters, and Paraguay now, in injury time, have got a corner kick near side the left.
Do you know, well done, Almiron, because he spent a lot of the first half, the first quarter anyway, rolling about, looking for free kicks, You're basically annoying the living daylights out of everyone. He's been so much better in this second half. He's worked hard, he's run into spaces, he's been selfless with his movement as well. And on that occasion, he took on 3 or 4 players across the line. Look, it was a long shot in every possible way of describing it, but he's got a corner.
Maurizio with a corner kick, left-hand side, it's an outswinger, and eventually hooked clear. The referee, though, had blown his whistle. It was one of those ones where, if you've watched him at St James's Park, where his head starts to bob a little bit as he runs with the ball, had that long-range effort gone in, I think our Paraguayan friends would have lost their heads.
Without a shadow of a doubt. By the way, the referee's given a free kick there for Germany from that corner kick. I've seen it a couple of times. I'm not sure I can see anything wrong there at all. I think it's a wee bit unfair. In Paraguay, they would have loved to have kept the ball up that half of the pitch. However, they're going to have to do what they usually do and just fall back into the shape which they are, let's be fair, very comfortable in.
Under 2 minutes of normal time remaining. Under 2 minutes away from a first tie in the last 32, going for an extra 30 minutes. 1-1. Here is Kimmich. Tatar bypasses Kimmich on this occasion to Rudiger. Bird stays out wide, left-hand side. Havertz makes the run. Musiala's on this near side, the right. Level the area, hooks the ball in, headed out by Canale. Almiron tries to get his head onto it, headed forward by Kimmich. Acrobatic clearance away by Bobadilla. And out it goes for a German throw.
There's players all over the place going down with cramp, really struggling a bit. The problem is, if you go down with cramp and you go and get any help at all, you're off the pitch. You can't afford 10 men, and at the moment
Bobadilla can't get to his feet.
Go.
Here is Musiala meanwhile. Right corner of the area, past one man, goes to the right hand side, sends over a cross, flick header away by Caceres. It'll go out for a throw. Bobadilla's back to his feet, but he's limping heavily.
Yeah, I think he's got cramp. I think it's a really tough one to deal with.
Rudiger delivers the cross. Good header out, though. That was from Bakubas, who climbed high. The little warrior in the midfield there for Paraguay. Canale falls to the floor. Anton has committed that foul. In fact, it was on Galasa.
I think
Galasa, free kick to Paraguay.
I think it's the first time the referee's fallen for that in the entirety of the game. He absolutely flung himself to the ground there. There might have been a tiniest little push there, but honestly, it was like diving into a swimming pool. But that was enough.
The 5 minutes are up, and the end of the regulation 90 has finished, and Germany have been taken to extra time by Paraguay. It is Germany 1, Paraguay 1. And unlike the previous 2 matches in the last 32, we haven't had a dramatic injury time winner. And now, for the first time in the World Cup in 2026, Mark, we're going to extra time here in Boston.
And Pat Nevin, it is going to be gruelling, isn't it, for both sets of players?
Absolutely, it's going to be gruelling. You can just see a couple of players going down, particularly the Paraguayans. They're struggling a lot bit now. Remember, they've chased the ball all day long, and there's players going down. Mauricio's just come on. He looks like he's having cramp as well. He's not long on for his CISO, but Cubas is on a yellow card. He's chased everything all day. Bobadilla, I'll be slightly surprised if he comes out for this extra time. Canale, another one, centre back. I loved watching him today. I mean, every tackle's been extraordinary. He's timed them all brilliantly. He might well get one wrong and it'll give away a penalty or something, but up until now, he's been absolutely fantastic. But you know that every one of those players have given everything they've absolutely got. And the Germans, I'll be honest, they've got a lot left. And also they've got players that they can bring on that are, you know, big, strong players that are very, very fit players as well. So, yeah, we've got here to this point. It's 1-1. Who are favourites? Absolutely still Germany. Absolutely.
Yeah, and former German defender Arne Friedrich with us as well. Not only is it physically exhausting, I would imagine, for Paraguay in that heat, it is going to be mentally exhausting as well to keep the Germans out.
Yes, that's correct. And on the other hand, like for Germany, it's very important now to work on their crosses. I mean, the time when we were most dangerous in the game was with our crosses in the box. You know, that's also how we scored. And now with Nick Woldemade coming into the game, I think we have another threat on the field, but chapeau to Paraguay. They defend very, very well. But it's right, so 30 minutes is a long time, and the time is, I think, on our side, and especially with Nick Woldemade, I think he can be the key player who decides the game in the end.
I'm only saying this partly tongue-in-cheek, Ralph Hollestein. Is this Nagelmann's tactic, lump it in the box and get ahead on it?
Great tactics, isn't it? But no, what I like in the second half, especially since Kimmich has moved into midfield when Anton came on, is that Germany have a better structure. They're getting into these positions much earlier. They control the second ball. They win the ball back easier. Paraguay are very deep, but Germany have been able to defend without ever really a proper counter-attack. And that's because I think Kimmich has more authority, has more control. And now it's a game of patience and of waiting. But you feel now, I think, that chances will come. I think Germany, despite not wanting to play, obviously, in extra time, will have enough momentum and confidence to think that a goal is there for the taking for them.
All right, let's find out if a goal is there for the taking. Back to Pat and Ian.
Thank you, Mark. Well, we wondered whether Damien Bobadilla, the 24-year-old midfielder, would be coming on, the box-to-box midfielder, but he's stayed on. But Almiron is coming off. So Miguel Almiron, who's back and playing his football in America at that second spell at Atlanta, has been replaced by Gustavo Velasquez, who's actually a defender, which tells you about the approach for Gustavo Alvaro, bearing in mind that Almiron at times was the natural outlet in the absence of Enciso.
Yeah, I thought, well, that's a sensible thing, you'll go to a back five, but I'm looking the way they're lining up now. I'm not sure they will. It looks as if, you know, there's a possibility they'll ask Velasquez to go and play right full-back and just ask Caceres to go and fill in the midfield a wee bit just to make it a little bit stronger in midfield. We shall see how that pans out just now, but it's certainly not an attacking move, I'll grant you that, Ian.
Now that, I still think, because they've got this is the 12th World Cup match involving Germany that's gone to extra time, but none of the last three have gone to a penalty shootout. But they'd only used 2 players during their substitution, so they've got another opportunity at least of Paraguay. Well, for Germany, they've got the one extra opportunity now that extra time affords it to bring on 2 players should Julian Nagelsmann wish to do so. As we're into extra time on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds Live here in Boston, because Germany, they wouldn't want this ahead of a potential last 16 date against the favourites France or Sweden, who will meet tomorrow. We'll have commentary of that tomorrow night, a 10 o'clock kickoff. France-Sweden live from New Jersey. But this was a 4:30 kickoff local time, 9:30 back home, and now we've got the additional 30 minutes for Germany to try and find a way through as they're playing from left to right. So in the second period of extra time, they'll be attacking the end where the German supporters are, as Rudiger forward towards Goretzka, headed away by Canale. Kimmich touches the ball to Brown. Remember, Germany are all in white, playing from left to right. This is Rudiger, and already the passage of play has picked up very similar to how it was for the majority of that second half once that they'd equalised, with the Germans dominating.
Yeah, it's very interesting where Goretzka's playing just now. He's almost playing as a centre forward, getting up into really good areas alongside Voltemada, allowing Kai Havertz to drift a little bit further back. Now that might seem from the outside negative for Havertz. I don't see that. Although he played for Chelsea and for Arsenal as a kind of number 9 player, I've never thought it's his best position. Coming from slightly deeper, he's, as I say, very, very hard to mark, and he just keeps on asking questions of defenders.
25 to midnight in the UK. Thank you for being with us here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Netherlands, Morocco to come at 2 in the morning. Will Germany be joining Canada and Brazil in the last 16? Tar to Rudiger. Almost the entirety of now of the pitch is in shade. Wirtz, Goretzka, layoff to Tar. Kimmich in the midfield to Rudiger on that left-hand side. He swings over the cross. Canale heads it away. This is Voltemade, shot blocked. Kimmich shoots low. Canale throws himself at it and clears it away with the legs. Headed back by Rudiger. It is backs to the wall for Paraguay.
And this is exactly what we expected. They were so tired at the end of the 90 minutes. And if you're a Paraguayan, you're thinking 30 more. It's just so long against the German team. They look really fit just now. They look really sharp just now. They're absolutely dominant, complete control of the ball. It feels like this is coming, doesn't it?
Musiala in field. Tar midway through the Paraguay half finds Kimmich 10 yards forward of the centre circle. Tar at a walking pace actually exchanges passes with Kimmich, who switches play to the left. Rudiger 30 yards out from goal will stroke it towards Wirtz. Infield to Voltemade, couldn't control it, and able to clear was Junior Alonso. Every Navy shirt is not willing to try and chase that ball, as Neuer is the one who goes out left-hand side to Rudiger and gives it to Kimmich once again. It's just going to keep coming back at Paraguay. They've just got to try and keep their shape and hang on.
Oh, that was unnecessary. That looked like a yellow card, possibly, to me. Just a late tackle. The ball was played back. A wee bit of frustration. Also, possibly, let's be fair, a little bit of tiredness. That should be a yellow card. Absolutely should be a yellow card. The referee's been a bit lenient there.
Juan Jose Caceres, my note says, a tough tackling right back who plays his football for Dynamo Moscow. He certainly lived up to his billing on that occasion, but there was no yellow card shown by the referee, Jalal Jayed, who now makes sure that only one will stand behind the spray just inside the Paraguay penalty area, as this is going to be a free kick that Kimmich is going to whip in. It's a crowded penalty area. It's 1-1. It's on 5 Live. Kimmich now lifts this one in. Punched away by both hands by Hill. Musiala can't get a sight of goal. Has to pass the ball to the right corner of the area for Tar. Turns back onto his left foot, delivers the cross. And the header at the far post is going to run behind from Goretzka behind for a corner kick.
Well done from Tar there. That was lovely skills on the right-hand side. You don't think of him as a tricksy right winger, do you, most of the time? But twinkle toes there, and eventually got a very good ball and another corner kick. Paraguay cannot get out of their 18-yard line, never mind their half.
5 minutes into this first period of extra time. The referee is just standing between Anton, the German defender, and Orlando Hill, the Paraguayan goalkeeper. I think there'd been a little coming together between the two. There's a good old shove there as well for Anton in the back. There's a lot of jostling going on. He's certainly making his presence felt, is Valtemar Anton, as the cross goes deep towards the far post, kept alive by Tar. There was appeals for handball in that, but the referee had already blown his whistle, I think, and it'll be a free kick to Paraguay. 1-1.
Easy way out there. So there was a nudge on the goalkeeper, and there probably was a little bit of a nudge on him. But the goalkeeper didn't come for it. He was blocked, I thought, really, really well. And because of that, he stopped and went back. And by the way, I've just seen another angle, and not convinced it was a handball. In fact, it absolutely 100% wasn't a handball anyway.
Germany, who have progressed from each of their last 5 World Cup knockout games against South American opposition, since losing 2-0 to Brazil in the 2002 final. But they are making heavy weather of this on a glorious day in Boston, with the sun continuing to shine. 6 minutes played. Extra time, 1-1, 5 Live, Pat Nevin.
Well, the big deal is now, if you're Paraguay, you think you take it in 5-minute spells and maybe get to half-time and extra time. If you get to half-time and extra time, I think the pressure goes back on Germany again, because this is what Paraguay want. They don't want anything else. They're not hoping for anything else. It's way beyond that, other than penalty kicks. Last until those last minutes. It's not beyond the bounds of possibility, but if they get to half-time, they will start to believe again.
Rudiger with a cross, Voltemade off his chest, Voltemade with a turn, shot blocked. Musiala was aware he was coming back from an offside position and couldn't go in pursuit of the ball, and it just literally rolls out of play for a goal kick. Paraguay are going to make a change. The Germans,
change,
I think, are they looking for a potential handball here? No. The Germans have, the referee has prevented the goal kick from being taken. The bench down below are in the ears of the fourth official, who is Ma Ning from China. Again, we're not shown.
I've actually seen 2 replays of it, and it really isn't obvious. It may have hit a hand, but it's whether it was in front of his body when he came out to it. The referee's talking to Kimmich, saying there was a push, so maybe if it's hit the hand, he feels he was pushed and it hit his hand there. Gomez is the one who's lying on the ground now, and he's gone down. He's not getting any treatment, so he won't have to go off.
Or were they suggesting that it should be a corner kick? And VAR has ruled exactly that, but the corner's been taken too quickly because Paraguay want to make a double change. Antonio Sanabria, who's only made 1 appearance, he started the opening game against the United States. He's a forward, and also Brian Ojeda is going to come on for his first appearance. He was briefly at Nottingham Forest, a defensive midfielder, made 3 appearances in the 21-22 season, now playing his football for Orlando City. So the midfielder's going to be coming on.
Which is so unusual to do that, obviously, at a corner kick. It almost never happens that, but they feel he can be a little bit more physical in that defensive area and for a corner kick.
So who's going off? Is that Bobadilla, who's coming across as well? He's got to take 10 seconds. He's got to hurry it quickly, but he was dragging it as close as he could. So Sanabria comes on for Bobadilla. And Caceres, the right back, was the player who made way for Ojeda. Double change made. Germany, corner kick near side. Flick header away by Ojeda. Edge of the area looking towards Musiala. Chasing after it on that far side is Galasa. Still sticking to his task. Musiala unable to get past him. In it goes, crowded penalty area. Tar couldn't get on the end of it. It was dropping awkwardly inside that 6-yard area. And it goes straight through for a goal kick. And by my watch, we've got 5 minutes remaining in this first period of extra time, live on 5 Live, 1-1.
Well, there's been a couple of decent balls in. There's plenty of tall German players there, defenders and attackers, going for it, chasing at it, but it's still not been clear-cut yet. You know, they're still held out. It's beginning to feel the fingertips now for the Paraguayans, but they're still holding out. They are desperate to get to half-time in this extra time. But the Germans are just getting closer and closer and closer to a chance.
Kimmich runs with the ball through the centre circle. Diagonal ball along the ground, goes out towards Wirtz on the far side. Brown makes the run ahead of him, not utilised. Back inside it goes to Kimmich. Just outside the centre circle is Tar. Forward ball to Anton. Anton's ball into the penalty area, over the head of the lanky figure of Voltemada, and straight out of play for a goal kick. And it remains, with 100 minutes ticking by here in Boston, Germany 1, Paraguay 1.
To be fair, Chapper's question at the end there was very pertinent, I think. Is that Germany's tactics now? Get it away and get it in the mixer. Because it is. That's what it is just now. There's nothing more. I was expecting a lot more from Musiala to get the ball into those little areas. They've stopped doing that. It's get it in there. Havertz is in there. Voltemada's in there. Goretzka's getting in there as well. And it's kind of somewhat surprising that that's the only sophisticated idea that I've come up with. And that's not a sophisticated one.
Velasquez is now at right back. Ojeda's playing ahead of him on the right-hand side of that back four. They've had to make the changes that has been marshalled by Canale and Gustavo Gomez. They're missing Diego Gomez of Brighton through suspension. Alderetti's out injured as Goretzka makes a run forward. Canale comes out of the central defence, gets the block challenge in. The long-haired defender, and Germany win yet another corner kick. And it remains 1-1 with about 3 and a bit minutes remaining of this first period of extra time.
Every single cross in there looks like a danger because the height advantage that they've got now is extraordinary. They've kept the vast majority of that back line in the Paraguayan defence, and they have been so strong up until now, apart from 2 moments.
Brown, the left back, is going to take the corner kick near side the right. It's left-footed towards the far post, and the header's in by Tar. Germany have come from behind. It was a thumping header at the far post by Tar. The German substitutes spill onto the pitch. They were forced into extra time, but just like they did against Ivory Coast in the group stages, Germany coming from behind now lead by 2 goals to 1.
Well, it was about that lasting those few extra minutes to the half-time break there. They were getting closer and closer and closer to a very, very good chance. And yeah, that is not a sophisticated tactic, that. Get it wide, get it to the corners and use the corners well. There's teams in the UK and certainly the Premier League that are using that. But that physicality, that height, and that ball to the back post was superb. And it is a bullet header that almost certainly has won this game for Germany.
It's his first competitive goal for his country on his 51st appearance. He only scored his first goal in the friendly against Switzerland in March. But Jonathan Tah, climbing, powerful header, and nothing that Orlando Hill could do about that. And Germany edge ahead. And now Paraguay are going to have to respond, and they've only got 2 minutes of this first period of extra time. They're going to have to rouse themselves for Paraguay. Yeah, checking for VAR.
It's tough to know what they're going to do. It's going to have a look at VAR. I didn't see anything wrong there, I have to say.
But he has been ordered by Tatiana Guzman, the VAR official. So Jalal Jayed now, the goalkeeper, and look how the benches have responded. Because the referee is 6 yards short of the halfway line. He's telling both benches to let me come to the monitor without any interference whatsoever. And everybody's pointing at each other and saying, well, look what they're doing. As he now looks at the monitor.
It's mayhem around there, isn't it? There's a cast of thousands watching on right beside him. And he's seeing if there's a block and has it affected goalkeeper.
So Anton, the central defender, did he impede the goalkeeper Orlando Hill?
It looks like it, doesn't it? It really looks like it. I mean, to be honest, it's a bit 50-50. The keeper run into him. It's a subjective call. It's an absolutely subjective call. That is not clear. This is just how a referee feels about it. In times gone by, up until this World Cup, that's not a goal. But the higher bar, you just never know this thing.
It wasn't a sustained hole. It's almost as if he's bounced off him. He then quickly got back to his feet, did the goalkeeper. But Jalal Jayed has had a look at it, and he is now going to announce here in Boston his decision after being instructed by the VAR to have a look at it.
After review, when the ball was in play, attacker number 3 prevent the goalkeeper to challenge in the ball. Final decision, foul.
Final decision, foul. The goal does not stand. That's chalked off for Jonathan Tah. Nagelsmann can't believe it. He turns away in amazement. The decision is no goal. Germany 1, Paraguay 1, live on 5 Live.
Jeopardy back on, absolutely back on. Game is finished there, as far as I was concerned. You know, that goal stands, cannot see any way back from Paraguay. The referee's coming over here, and I think he's going to book either Nagelsmann or another one of his staff. He's already booked, possibly, one of the staff, certainly the Paraguayan team, might even be the manager of Faro, got a yellow card in the midst of the first melee. So the frustration's beginning to boil over. I will say one thing, Ian. I think the referee's got it right. I absolutely think the referee's got it right. The bar has been lifted for free kicks, but if you block the goalkeeper like that when he's trying to get out, and it was a little bit of a block, other blocks happen, I would back him just about in that one.
So you think it was the correct decision?
I would go for it, yeah. I would go for the right decision being made there. And every goalkeeper in the world probably agrees with me, and every attacker disagrees.
Germany, who have now played the most games in extra time than any other side. This is the 12th game that they're in extra time. Previously was 11 with Argentina and Italy. England not far behind on 10. But Germany in their 12th match in extra time, for which there will be an added 4 minutes in this first period. And we're now back at 1-1, and that will give fresh incentive. Renewed optimism maybe for Paraguay as they burst forward on the far side and they get a corner kick.
What a psychological lift they've got from that. They were out, they were dead and buried, they were gone. They might as well have walked off then. But look at them now, they're lively again, they zipped up the park, they've got a corner kick, and they're going to attack it with just about every player going for it.
Corner kick far side the right for Paraguay. It's an in-swinger, drops towards the far post. Alonso chips it deep, dropping goalwards, headed alive and headed away back from goal, but in fact it had gone out of play. And that will be a goal kick to Germany.
It's a difficult one to defend, wasn't it? It goes to the back post, and it's one of those ones where you think it's gone out, but it had just gone out and no more.
The goal kick has to be retaken, much to the annoyance of the German supporters behind the goal there of Manuel Neuer, all in yellow.
I do wonder if both managers have been booked. I suspect they were in that madness that was going on.
I can confirm that Alvaro Gustavo was booked, and we also saw that the referee had shown a yellow card to the German bench as Voltemade was felled inside the area. The Germans are looking and appealing for a penalty. Voltemade is writhing inside the penalty box at the moment. There is a lot of activity on the touchline. This really is a difficult game for the Chinese official Ma Ning.
To be honest, I think he's got the vast majority of decisions right today. I think it was one where he blew up a little bit early. I wouldn't have given that goal there. I think it's a subjective call, but it's absolutely fine. And with Voltemade, with only one look at it there, I think Voltemade is the one who puts his leg in there to initiate the contact. So I think he may have got that one right as well. But we will see, because the VAR will look at that one.
Oh, that was a clumsy challenge by Maurizio on the back of Anton. He's a centre-back who's now almost playing on the right-hand side of midfield for Germany. And as Nagelsmann paces up and down in that technical area down below, he cuts the man of a figure really under mounting an immense pressure. Musiala back towards Anton, in it goes, cross is delivered deep. They talked about, this is Wirtz on the left-hand side, sends over a cross, Havertz with a header, stretching his heel. He did ever so well, because his first touch took it away from Voltemade, and whilst it's still in the air, he's then caught the ball at the second time of asking.
Again, amazing that Havertz can actually get to that ball. I thought it was miles above his head, but he manages to get something and get it on target, and it's gone beyond the goalkeeper, and a chance for Voltemade to get it. Keeper does superbly well. He's holding his head as if he's had a little bit of a hit, and maybe he did get a hit, but certainly not from a German player, probably from one of his own players. But once again, goalkeeper, he's been superb today, hasn't he?
He has.
He's been absolutely superb. You say there's been a goalkeeper today who's had a world-class display. It's not been Neuer. He's had nothing to do. There's absolutely nothing to do. But well done for the Paraguayan goalkeeper. He's been fabulous.
I know at one stage there was talk that Thomas Tuchel was going to sort of like go back to basics with England as we're into the end of the half-time here. This is maybe something that you and Mark can discuss, because Tuchel had talked about, England might go 4-4-2. Every opportunity now, as we're at the end of extra time, Mark, Germany are doing exactly what you'd said to Rafa. They're just lumping the ball long.
Well, if Mark's not going to chant, I'll chant instead. I think it absolutely is the case that they're doing that. And there's a bit of me was watching that there when Chappers had said earlier on that she kind of it's long ball game, it's get it in the mixer, getting it wide and lump into the big guys, right? Do you think Pep Guardiola's watching this game somewhere, and if he had any hair whatsoever, he'd be turning it out? Because this is so much the opposite of what English football had become and where football had been going for such a long time. But it's not, is it? It's closer to Wimbledon in the, decades ago.
Mark. So I've looked at the Times live reporting, I've looked at the Athletic live reporting, I've heard Darren Cann and Alan Shearer on the television. The only person I can find that's agreeing with you is Mark Clattenburg on Fox, Pat. About the goal being disallowed.
Right. How many of them were forwards? being the point.
It's soft, isn't it? Soft.
It's soft, but what it is he's blocked the keeper. He knows what he's doing. He's got in an area where the keeper is going to be blocked. Now, to be fair, I said it's subjective. It's not a clear cut. It's not a definite right or definite wrong. There are some decisions in football subjective. Now, what we're trying to do is stop blocking in the box. The goalkeeper was blocked. That's why he couldn't go out for it. That's why he wasn't positioned. I'll make you a promise, Chappers. Find me a goalkeeper, and I'll find you somebody who says that goal shouldn't stand.
Yeah, blimey. I'm surprised Joe Hart isn't straight on to us. Anyhow, all yours.
Back underway, 5 to midnight back home. Thank you for being with us. We're into the second period of extra time. Germany 1, Paraguay 1. 15 minutes away from a penalty shootout. I'm sure the Americans would love that with all the razzmatazz, although Germany have a flawless record when it comes to penalty shootouts at the World Cup. So, Germany in all in white, playing from right to left as we look in this second period of extra time against the Paraguay side, who are in their all-navy. I did notice as well during the yellow card shown there to
Havertz, correctly shown to Havertz. He's led with his elbow there, and to be fair, he's run over and asked the defender if he's okay. But I think Havertz knows that was one of those ones where there are other referees who would look at that very, very dimly indeed. Again, think it's right. I don't think it's a vicious elbow, but he has led with it.
But I noticed during the briefest of intervals for that extra time period, he was laid down, face into the ground, and they were manipulating both the back of his thighs, whether he's got a bit of tightness there in the hamstrings.
I think a lot of players will out there. You mean they're absolutely exhausted with the amount of effort they've been put in, the heat that there was down there. I mean, it's all in shade now, so that's some sort of comfort. But remember, these games, as you say, are coming thick and fast. They're not getting a lot of time off. And if you look at the likes of Havertz, the amount of games he's played and the amount of time he's been on this pitch after an injury-riddled season.
So he's shown a yellow card just for a bit of housekeeping. Nagelsmann was also booked before that extra time finished. As in comes the cross for Paraguay, drops inside the penalty area, required the block from Tar, whose goal was disallowed. It goes behind for a Paraguay corner kick that Maurizio will race over towards that far side to take. Paraguay playing from left to right, corner kick, left-hand side, 1-1, 5 live.
To be fair, you've got to say that to Paraguay. They have won quite a few corners in this game, haven't they? Yes, they have defended for most of the time, and when they defend, it's a very low block. But they've got up there now and again and put corners in.
Maurizio with the out-swinging corner kick from the left. Headed away by Wirtz. On the slide. Out it goes to the far side for Maurizio to deliver it. Dangerous ball in. Voltemada was the player who in the end had to sky the clearance for Germany. The hook ball downfield. It was Velasquez who tried to knock it further forward towards Sanabria, and it goes out of play for a Paraguay throw.
They've got a real little spurt of energy, haven't they? The Paraguayans, they were out on their feet, particularly when they thought they'd lost the goal. But they've got this little spurt of energy for almost nowhere. That little bit of a break at half-time has given them another 5 minutes in their legs, maybe 10. Who knows, even 15.
Brown's attempted clearance charged down, hooked away by Rudiger inside his penalty area. Ojeda in the midfield passes the ball towards Alonso. Ojeda then gets it back again on the left-hand side. Cross comes in, headed out by Tar, first time. Breaking clear now for Germany was Goretzka, caught in possession by a sliding challenge. And that was a good one. That was won back by Kubas in the midfield. And then Paraguay, 6 yards inside the German half, decide to go back to Orlando Hill, the goalkeeper, who clears left-footed downfield. I heard after listening to Ali Bruce Ball and Chris Sutton that they were driving some 4 hours back from Houston after Brazil 2, Japan 1. And Kelly had asked them what was their choice of music, and they said they were going to be listening to the commentary, and that was only 90 minutes, so this will be welcome noise as far as they're concerned to their ears as they listen into the commentary. As Brown inside the area, good challenge coming back from Caballero as he concedes the corner. Still it remains 1-1.
Yeah, it's desperate defending, but that was certainly Paraguayans who were cheering that defensive tackle there. I think the locals love it. I think the locals really like a good challenge, good tackle, taking a chance. It's in the box there. Get that wrong, again, game could be finished. But he gets it right, and the Germans, for this first time in this second half of extra time, are actually up the field.
Their final opportunity to make a substitution for Germany, and they've had to use the 2 because it was their last chance. Chow comes on for Rudiger, then Malik Chow, the Newcastle United defender. His second appearance of this World Cup. He played half an hour against Ecuador for the last 30 minutes. And Nadia Mamiri has also come on. He likewise played the last 30 minutes, but that was against Ivory Coast as he comes onto the field of play. It's a wicked in-swinging corner kick that was going in, actually. Kimmich on this near side to left, and Orlando Hill did ever so well from underneath his crossbar to turn it away.
Yeah, he's gone out because he knows he's under pressure, and he has to go out and attack some of the top players that are going towards him. But of course, Kimmich knows this. Kimmich's clever. He's shot. That's a shot for me there from that that left-hand side there. And he done brilliant to get back. You're right enough, that was going in underneath the bar.
Wirtz made way for Amiri, incidentally. Corner kick for Germany, far side the right, still 1-1. Second period of extra time here on 5 Live. Looking to try and break our Paraguay, but they're unable to do it. They win the ball at the second time, and now the counter-attack is on. And Maurizio is released on the far side. Breaking through is Galasa. Also now this is Ojeda. They switch it. Opic pulled back to the edge of the area for Caballero. And then with Kubas, back towards Caballero, level the penalty area right-hand side.
Ian, where's this energy come from? Where has it come from? They were out on their feet. Yeah, they've made a couple of changes. That's lifted them a little bit. But suddenly, I think the German team look a little bit more tired than I've seen them at any point. At the start of extra time, I think we all felt, oh, well, matter of time here. The Germans look stronger. They're coming on to the game. They're putting balls in the box. From nowhere, and I think from that goal being disallowed, it's lifted Paraguay. They've got a chance here. They could make it.
Yes, they have got a chance. We could still be looking at a real upset here. Germany 1, Paraguay 1. It does still have the feel of penalties because Germany aren't creating chance after chance after chance. They are struggling to create opportunities at will. Tar passes the ball. The heat now will have had its effect. It's been seriously hot here in Boston. Far side, Musiala challenge. Referee's assistant waves his flag. Musiala complains, saying there was a foot in there. That was a bad one from Alonso. He's not happy. And it'll be a free kick to Germany, 10 yards up from the corner flag.
It's one of those ones where the slide tackle has obviously not gone out of fashion in Paraguay. And he slid in there, and to be fair, it's not. Actually, he's the one that's got injured. I have no doubt he's the one that gets injured because I think Musiala stood in his foot, on the base of his foot when he was down. I'm absolutely convinced that Alonso's he's not acting down there. He's actually got a bad one when the studs has gone onto the sole of his feet. The referee's having none of it. He's saying, you better get up. Do you know what, Alonso? You better heed him. Doesn't matter how much pain, you're getting nothing here.
Well, at one stage they had 2 players down, Alonso and also Galasa. They're both on their feet now and they're back inside the penalty area. Germany have a free kick, 10 yards up from the byline, far side the right, 1-1. Less than 7 minutes remain of extra time. Kimmich with a free kick, a very good handling again by the goalkeeper. Almost took that off the head of Voltemada.
Do you know the importance of catching the ball? Have I mentioned this already? Instead of punching it. And you punch it, it's just going to come straight back to you. Catches it, gives his team a little bit of time. It'll probably come back to them anyway, but it's given them another 10, 15 seconds.
Coming forward is
tackle.
Amiri. The tackle was made and he stayed down, has Amiri. As this coming forward is Caballero. Down to the ground he goes. Voltemada wraps a long leg around him, gets a foot into the challenge. Picked up now by Havertz, who shows too much of that towards Canale, who stops him, and Canale can clear long left-footed as he dropped back inside his penalty area. Germany now showing plenty of urgency. They will not want a penalty shootout. They will, despite their impressive record in World Cup finals.
Would you say they deserve it now, the Paraguayans? I think for the work they've put in, I would argue they deserve it. And they've got forward a few times as well, and the fact that they've got this second, probably third, probably fourth win, I think they deserve it.
Well, you're the expert, Pat. You're the one
I'm slightly biased in this one. With that amount of effort, I just feel for them.
Musiala tries to wriggle clear on the far side, tries to keep his balance. The referee says there was no foul. Oh, that was a poor challenge by Musiala. He's going to get shown a yellow card. Absolutely upended. I think it was
madness. Absolute madness.
Galasa, who was the player who went...
I think they'll look at that again. to be honest, he's lucky because it's his trailing leg that's caught him. He's went flying in there, nowhere near the ball. You can tell it's frustration, you can tell it's anger, and it's one of those ones. Has had front foot taken him out. That's red. Absolutely, that's red. There is no doubt in my mind that he's uncontrolled, you know, which is one of the things to look at in that sort of tackle if it's going to be a red card. The way the referees played the game today, it'll be a yellow. But it's a strong yellow, isn't it?
Just a bit. I mean, that was clearly frustration from Musiala, who felt that he should have had a decision. Meanwhile, the referee is coming across to this near side. Has he been told to look at the monitor, or is he having words with the German bench?
I think it's the German bench.
It's the German bench. And some of the backroom staff have now been shown a yellow card, and in fact, the Chinese fourth official, a little bit on the playground, is now saying, yeah, it was also him, miss. He also said something out of turn. So a gentleman in a baseball cap has now been brought forward out of the Paraguayan bench, and he's been shown a yellow card. It is getting extremely fractious down there. Galasa, who went head over heels with that challenge, is okay to continue, and it means that more minutes have ticked by. 3 minutes remain of normal time, 1-1.
It's also killed any momentum that the Germans were trying to build. Remember, the team that's trying to build momentum is Germany at this point in time. They're the ones expected to win. They're the ones that expected to finish very, very strong. In this second half of extra time, it's been just about 50-50 between the two.
Another foul, Paraguay, and another yellow card, giving away a free kick. Germany want to take it quickly. That was Galasa, who was just...
Yeah, he was upended,
yeah. He's the one who said, look, I'll do anything to stop play now. They'll do anything at this stage. And that was retribution back on Musiala. And the free kick again wasn't taken, and the referee...
It's gone a bit weird. The referee's lost a wee bit of control of this bit at the end. But it doesn't help if there's two balls on the pitch. But again, it's got quite fractious, a bit bitty. Paraguayans will be delighted with that just now. But will there be one more chance for the Germans?
This is Amiri, sends over the cross. Header on by Havertz. Goretzka was there. Canale tries to head it away. Stumbling is Galasa, running back out towards that far side and can't keep the ball in play. Germany want to take that throw quickly. 6 yards up from the corner flag on the far side, the right. Kimmich now has it 30 yards out from goal. Cross strikes the back of a Paraguayan player and goes behind for a corner kick. And by my watch, 2 minutes remain of added time. 2 minutes of the second period of extra time. And it remains 1-1.
Well, we talk about both games so far, and the knockouts have went to injury time. Well, that was injury time in 90 minutes. We're getting very, very late for a winning goal now, but it wouldn't shock you.
The clapping from the supporters inside the stadium in Boston. Brown to deliver the corner kick from the far side, and the header from Anton was straight at the goalkeeper. He was inside the six-yard box, either side of him. You think there that Anton has probably got his first goal for his country.
Well, I asked the question there, are they going to get a chance? Yeah, with bells on, that's a brilliant chance. He's caught it brilliantly, he's headed it really well. The goalkeeper will say, well, it's all about position, but he's just standing in the middle of the goals and it was straight down his throat.
Maurizio for Paraguay. Could they nick it right at the death, Paraguay? Galasa runs forward on the left. Maurizio goes out to join him. All in navy, playing from left to right as we look. Now they lose the ball and Musiala brings it away with some skill and pace. And he comes in field and he's away from two more Paraguayan players. And he passes the ball forward. And this is Goretzka. Goretzka just tries to touch it on the inside, but the navy shirts were flooding back. And Paraguay now can come forward. And this is with Sanabria. He then goes into a challenge, and Goretzka and him have a little bit of afters as well, as they're both lying on the floor. Meanwhile, the ball goes towards Havertz. Man over on the right. Heavy challenge coming in from Canale. Well, in fact, no, it wasn't. That was that's Galasa, who's just been booked.
He's been booked, and it's a foul. And again, there are referees many times Premier League would give a second yellow for that.
No attempt to play the ball, Pat.
I actually think there was an attempt. It was just a rubbish one. It was miles and miles away from it. That's a tackle of a very, very tired, not only player, but attacker who can't tackle. So, again, referee, I'm actually okay with that. He's only added 2. I think there should be more than that. I think Paraguay will be delighted with that. Now we're into it. Injury time and extra time. This is German time, isn't it?
They've got one opportunity to make one more change of Paraguay, because they made one fewer than Germany did in normal time, and they want to make it now. Balbuena, the former West Ham United defender. This is a free kick. We're into 2 minutes of added time in the second period of extra time. 5 live. Kimmich runs over the ball. Amiri puts it into the side netting with a curling right-footed effort. Orlando Hill had it covered. So Fabian Balbuena, who's now at 34 years of age, he plays for Grêmio now in Brazil. He's going to come on for his first appearance at these World Cups. The experienced central defender who made just over 62 appearances and 3 goals for West Ham between 2018 and 2021. And he is going to be coming on for Junior Alonso. So the left back is actually told to leave the field on the far side, and Fabian Balbuena is going to come on just to try and shore things up in the minimum of 2 minutes that remain here.
Can I ask another possible question about Balbuena? Ever taken a penalty kick? Because you might need to now. It's getting very, very close.
Well, he hasn't scored a goal in 3 years. The experienced defender, as he nears a half-century, as it's his 49th cap. And he will just sit at the heart of that defence for Paraguay, who actually have been awarded a throw on the far side. The 2 minutes of added time by my watch are now over. The cross is hoisted over from the left-hand side. There's a look at the watch from Jalal Jayad. And here in the last 32, we have our first penalty shootout in the last 32 tie of a World Cup, because Germany, after 2 hours of football, have been held by Paraguay. Germany, who've won all 4 of their shootouts at a World Cup, and they've lost none of them. Paraguay have only won their only World Cup penalty shootout against Japan when they scored all 5. A 100% record for both will be put to the test here in Boston, because after extra time, we've got a shootout, and it's Germany 1, Paraguay 1.
And so it begins, the shootouts at the World Cup. Germany having that Jonathan Tah goal disallowed, which Arne Friedrich, I'm guessing you would say, was soft, but then Germany didn't create a massive amount, did they? Oh, Rafa, I'll go to Rafa. I don't know if we got... Rafa, are you there?
Yes,
yeah.
I'm here. They didn't create that much, no, but I think they created enough to win the game. But, of course, if you don't take your chances and you don't score and you don't get a little bit lucky with the refereeing decision, then you face yourself in a penalty shootout against Paraguay. And, of course, that in itself is already a defeat. The emotional, the moral momentum is with Paraguay. They've been playing for that for a long, long time. They got it, and Germany feel now, oh no, you know, we can still win, of course, but we're already in a position where we never wanted to be in the first place.
Arno, what are your overall thoughts?
Yeah, first of all, I'm relieved. So we still have the chance to win this game. It sounds funny, but it's the truth, because we didn't really play well at all. But now my hopes are in Manuel Neuer, and now he can prove that it was the right decision to bring him in. He's very well experienced, so let's hope for the best.
And what did you make of the disallowed goal?
To me, to be fair, not because I'm German, to me it was a goal. He didn't really go into the goalkeeper. He was just like standing there, and to me it was no foul. And every referee in the EPL would probably agree with me.
Real contrasting sights down below on the Foxborough pitch at the moment. The Germans were, or Nagelsmann was there with a piece of paper, just calmly pointing out what he wanted from his penalty takers. It was a lot more, what's the word I'm looking for, Pat? Energetic, I suppose.
Excitable, definitely.
in the Paraguayan huddle. There was a lot of fist pumping and fist waving there, whereas a lot calmer on the German side of things.
You know the Germans have been there so many times. Yeah, Paraguayans have done it as well, but in the very biggest of stages, Germany's been here before. The one thing I would say, Neuer's not had a lot to do today. Very, very little to do. We know he's a great goalkeeper. You know, he has been a great goalkeeper. He's done well in penalty shootouts before. But Hill, he's been fantastic. He's arguably been the best player in Paraguay's team, although that's a tight one because there was a lot of brilliant defensive play there. So he'll be buzzing just now. He'll believe he can do it just now. And of course, he's on a high after making the save that saved his country just near the end there with that header that, let's be honest, to be fair, it went straight out, but he made the save anyway.
I'm just watching, as I'm sure you are, Ian, the coin toss here, and there had been a suggestion that going into the last 32 they would do one toss of the coin and you would either pick an end or whether to go first, because they do it twice normally, and then the perception is if you win both coin tosses you get the advantage, obviously. However, they didn't get that through in time, judging by what I've just seen on the screen. So they've done 2 coin tosses and they are ready to go.
Yes, they are, and no, they didn't get it through. It was something I was talking about with Martin Lipton ahead of the game. It was more of a proposal that was actually never submitted to be rejected when it was initially leaked, but it was something that was discussed, and it may well be revisited for future tournaments, but not, I don't think, to be implemented midway through a tournament. So you've just got the way as it always is, just so you get the toss to see which end you want, and then the toss to see who goes first. And the toss for the first toss is that it's the end away towards our left, and Germany are going to go first, and it is Havertz to take this first penalty kick here for Germany. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live. It is a penalty shootout here in Boston. The supporters who are standing up in this third tier, high up here in the Foxborough Stadium, are not sitting down, as the referee is just having a word with the 2 goalkeepers, as Neuer, clutching a white towel, is told to walk to the side, and then Orlando Hill stands all in purple on his goal line. Havertz places the ball down in the spot. A reminder that Germany have won all 4 shootouts in the history of the World Cup. Will it be 5 from 5? Havertz waits, hands on hips. He waits for the referee's whistle. You can hear the goalkeeper slapping his hands together. That's the sound of his gloves as he stands tall. Stuttering run up from Havertz, and the keeper makes the save! Orlando Hill dived away to his left, makes the save. What a start for Paraguay in the shootout.
Well, he has been absolutely brilliant, the goalkeeper. They might look at it again there, but he's flown away to his left-hand side. They'll say it's a good height for a goalkeeper, but he has to have a very strong hand. He has got a strong hand there, and he saved it. I must say, Kai Havertz had to wait a long, long time to take that penalty kick. There was a lot of build-up to that, so he had to wait and wait and wait and wait.
It's now the substitute Mauricio, who only decided to play for Paraguay because it's the land of his father, the Brazilian-born midfielder, on just his 6th appearance for Paraguay. What pressure on the shoulders of the 25-year-old. Manuel Neuer, all in yellow, tries to make himself big on the goal line. He approaches the ball slowly, Mauricio, and he scores. Neuer dived the right way to his left. An outburst of emotion from Mauricio, because Paraguay lead by a goal to 0 in the shootout.
Massive amounts of pressure, as you say, but left footer. He has smashed that so far into the corner, he has hit the side net. If Manuel Neuer goes the right way for a penalty kick, you can say that of most goalkeepers, they go the right way, you better hit it in the side net with power. Mauricio did, 1-0.
Joshua Kimmich is the next player to come forward for Germany. He's appearing in his 3rd World Cup final. This is his 10th appearance in the World Cup finals for Germany. Kimmich, with so much experience for Bayern Munich, up against Orlando Hill. Hill saved the first one. He goes through the same routine. Kimmich runs forward now, sends the keeper the wrong way. Right-footed, finds the bottom, left-hand corner with a low penalty. And Germany are on the board.
Oh, the last two penalties have been absolutely perfect. Sends the keeper the wrong way. But no matter, if he'd gone the right way, he wasn't saving that, because once again, it skids past the post, hits the inside of it almost, and rolls into the net. Great, great penalty by Kimmich.
Gustavo Gomez, wearing pink boots, carries the ball forward. His 93rd appearance for the 33-year-old defender. He's been the captain for the last 7 years. He is a natural leader for Paraguay. This is their second spot kick in the shootout, live on 5 Live. He approaches the ball now and sends the keeper the wrong way. And after 2 spot kicks, Paraguay lead by 2-1. And Gustavo Gomez, with both arms aloft, celebrates.
I'm sure he wasn't cool, but it didn't half look cool when he walked up to that. Little dummy just before he comes to the ball, and he just side foots it. And Manuel Neuer goes the wrong way. Nothing he can do about it. What a relief if the keeper goes the wrong way early. Now, Musiala, he's got his choice.
This is the 3rd penalty for Germany. After the Havertz one was saved, it's only a short run up for Musiala. He's standing right behind the ball. Now 2 steps to his left. Musiala scores. Orlando Hill dived the right way, but it was powerful, it was true, it was low, it was right-footed, bottom left-hand corner. That's 2 out of 3 for Germany.
Again, 2 of the 3 penalties for Germany have been world-class, right in the corner, real power, knew what he was going to do long before he did it. Keeper makes a great move, but might get just a fingertip to it. As you can hear an "oh" in the background for all these fans who've just seen the replay. He did get a little fingertip maybe to it, but too strong. Very good penalty.
This now is Matthias Galaza, who at the moment will go down as the quickest goal scorer at this World Cup for Paraguay. He won't want to be remembered for a miss, but it's a short run-up for Galaza. Left-footed and rolls it so coolly into the bottom left-hand corner. And after 3 spot kicks, Paraguay still lead 3-2. Here on 5 Live and the BBC Sounds Up.
I did not believe in him. I really didn't believe in him. It was so short a run-up. And if you're going to do that against the keeper of Neuer's class, you have to absolutely believe in yourself. He believed in himself. Beautiful penalty kick. And the pressure on Voltemada now is massive.
Nick Voltemada of Newcastle United struggled towards the end of the season, making his first appearance in these finals for Germany as a substitute. Places the ball down, waits, hands on hips. Poised is the goalkeeper, Orlando Hill. Voltemada is saved again by Hill. He is the Paraguayan hero. Voltemada with a second German penalty miss, and Paraguay are on the brink.
I mean, Hill has been the best player for his team just now. I have a suspicion they must look at that again. They looked a little bit off the line to me. We shall see if it... No, he's allowing it to go ahead. He's allowing it to go ahead. It's now. This is it. This could put them out.
Paraguay have an opportunity to knock Germany out here in the last 32.
It's so tight, but I think his foot might have been in the air, touching the angle of the line. This is it. This is the moment.
Sanabria, Antonio Sanabria. An opportunity to send Paraguay through. Sanabria. Oh, he's missed it. He's missed it. And Germany could still get through. He pulled it right-footed, wide of the goal. The drama continues. After 4 spot kicks, Paraguay still lead, but only by 3-2. And this next spot kick has to go in.
It has to go in, and Paraguay know they've got another opportunity after this anyway. So again, gigantic pressure. massive, massive pressure on Germany now. You've got to score this or else your team is out of the World Cup. There is no bigger pressure than that, and it's Amiri who's going to take it.
Nadim Amiri has to score, otherwise Germany are out. It's going to be a straight run-up for the Mainz player. The pressure is immense. Paraguay still stand on the brink. Amiri scores, but they're taking it to the very edge. They have used their 5 kicks. They've scored 3 out of 5. But Paraguay know that if they score this last kick, they are still through. What drama here on 5 Live.
Extraordinary moments here. The tensions is absolutely incredible. Neuer standing there, and if you're looking as a player wanting to take a penalty, put your country through, of all the people on the planet you probably don't want standing in front of you is Manuel Neuer, and there he is standing to stop him. Oh, and it's Balbuena, isn't it?
Fabian Balbuena, the former West Ham United player, brought on for the last seconds of the game in extra time to send Paraguay through. He runs up now. Oh, and Neuer makes the save. Paraguay had an opportunity. They had 2 opportunities. But Neuer away to his left-hand side makes the save. Paraguay couldn't take it. The drama continues. And all of a sudden, the momentum now switches to Germany and in favour of the Germans.
And it's a great save for Manuel Neuer. He has to guess right. He has to dive over there. But you just feel now, it's easy in hindsight, if you've got a chance, you get the laces through it. You put all the power you've got in it. He's kind of side-footed in it, and if it goes that side, it's got to be perfect. It wasn't enough.
We're into sudden death. It's 3-3 after 5 spot kicks here on 5 Live. Tar, whose goal was disallowed, to take the next penalty. Oh, and he's blazed it! Right-footed, over the crossbar. Does anybody want to win this shootout?
And it has went so far, and it's the German fans that it's landed in, but it's went in row Z. That's no exaggeration. It has went miles and miles over the bar, and once again, I mean, it's not even close. It's a long way over the crossbar, and once again, surely this time Paraguay can take the chance.
The ball is placed down on the spot, and it is with Jose Canale, the central defender, who's been terrific at the back. Jose Canale to make himself the hero, and he scores! Left-footed, high into the net. Germany, for the first time ever, at the World Cup finals, have lost a shootout. And Paraguay pull off a major upset as Canale is mobbed on the far side by the Paraguayan players. He disappears into a sea of navy blue. Germany are out, and Paraguay, with such a shock, are through to the last 16. What scenes here in Boston.
I wish you could see beside us, and the Paraguayan commentators beside us. They've lost it. They have completely and utterly lost it. The people in front of us, there's tears. They cannot believe it. They are utterly and completely shocked that it's gone this way. This must be one of the greatest results and moments in Paraguayan football history. But what a lovely moment. The 2 players that you will remember at the end. And it is Canale who scores the penalty. I thought he was phenomenal today. I thought he was absolutely off the scale brilliant with his tackling at centre back there, laid himself in the line time and time again. And if he wasn't man of the match, then it was Hill. And he did the job and goes to the penalty shootout as well. How fitting for them. And for Germany, they may have been the better team on the day, but you got to get it over the line. And they had the chances and they didn't take them.
And you can scrub the cliche about Germany when it comes to penalties, because of their 6 here this afternoon in Boston, they couldn't take 3 of them. And as a result, their 100% record when it comes to a shootout at a World Cup finals is over. And Paraguay go through 4-3 on penalties into the last 16. And there are grown men around me crying here in Boston because Paraguay will meet either France or Sweden in the last 16 in Philadelphia.
And I don't think there's a dry eye amongst all the Paraguayan fans that I have seen on the monitor in front of me. Every single one of them, man, woman, child, in tears as Paraguay knocked Germany out on penalties. And you kind of stole my question, Pat, really, because all I was going to say to you was it was fitting that Canale struck the winning penalty.
There's something so special about that player. He's the one that Ian was telling us didn't get his first cap till he's 29 years of age. And he's playing there tonight. And honestly, he could be Barcelona centre-back, couldn't he? He absolutely could. He was brilliant tonight. The tackling, the slide tackles, the last-ditch efforts, the fact that he kept on going for the entirety of the game. What else was he doing for those first 29 years? He was absolutely brilliant. And then when he walks up to take that penalty kick, and it's not that he flipped it, he roofed it. He absolutely roofed it. It's one of those penalty kicks you dream of taking. Keeper did go the wrong way, fair enough, but he's got it with power, with pace, lashed into the top corner. It is a dream scenario for him, and he really, really deserved it. He absolutely deserved it.
These are, Ian, great scenes, unless you're German, of course, but these are great scenes. And by the sounds of it, you've got great scenes in the press box as well.
Well, it's incredible because the national radio station, La Tribuna of Paraguay, the two commentators are wearing their white shirts and they've got the red ties on. They're very, very smart. But the engineers and the producers are wearing the red and white shirts of Paraguay. One of them shaven-headed, he's wearing a beard, he's in tears, he's having a glass of, a bottle of water now just to take it all in. There are two other journalists in front of me. They're actually FaceTiming family. They're waving to people down below. The Paraguayan players have come across to where their family and friends are situated, just to the right of the dugout down below. They're all just waving to each other. The Paraguayan supporters are at the other side of the field. You can just see them in their red and white striped shirts. The red, the white, the blue, and the flags are flying high. I mean, I think the German fans are just dumbfounded at the other end. I mean, this doesn't happen to Germany. It's the first time they've ever lost a shootout in the history of the World Cup. And I did wonder when Sanabria missed it and then Valbuena, who was brought on, and Neuer made the save, if they'd squandered their opportunity. And just trying to take it all in his suit with his grey hair down below is their 63-year-old coach, the Argentine, Gustavo Alvaro.
He's in tears. He's in tears.
There's talk of him extending his deal. He's done an exceptional job since he took charge. They went on an unbeaten run in 9 games in qualifying. They finished second in qualifying. They're a dogged team. They're not pretty to watch, but they are effective.
Chappers, one of the things that people should look out for, you've got to go on social media and have a look at the video of them celebrating, the radio guys next to them celebrating when they won there. It's absolutely... I've just seen a guy in front of me who had actually filmed it right in front of us. He was getting in our way, actually, with a penalty. But I've just seen the feed of it. It is genius. They have completely and utterly lost it. In fact, George, our producer, he was filming it as well. It is absolutely... When football gives you moments, it really does give you moments of what seems to be lifetime moments of memories that are made right in front of you, that you know they're never going to forget. They're changing these people's lives forever. And it's not just the players, it's the media guys, it's the fans. They're all exactly the same. Oh, it's fabulous to be among this.
And at the same time as Paraguay celebrates, some of the Germans have just got off the bench. They haven't left the field yet. And the camera has now panned to Julian Nagelsmann, sitting on that bench, head bowed, wiggling his fingers, his hands crossed. He hasn't looked up. Ralf Honigstein, they have made an absolute pig's ear of that tonight.
Yeah, and that's why this is not going to be a defeat without recriminations and an aftermath. You can get knocked out, you can have a poor game, you can do all sorts of stuff, but you can't get knocked out against Paraguay at this stage in this manner. Germany played okay, I thought, in the second half. They played pretty well in the first half of extra time, but overall if you look at the whole tournament, it just wasn't enough, and too many issues going wrong, too many big calls not quite coming off for Nagelsmann, and I think it's going to be very hard for him to survive this.
Arne Friedrich with us as well. Would you expect him to be gone after this, Arne?
Yes, that's pretty sure, I guess. It is definitely not enough. So first of all, congratulations to Paraguay. I think there was an impressive performance from their end. And if you consider the whole tournament that we play, it's a deserved loss today as well. So how we played the whole tournament, it was not enough. And Nagelsmann, he definitely has to face consequences. It's very disappointing, but that's sports, and in the end, we have to keep our heads up and congratulate and be a fair loser. But yeah, I would definitely say that the journey continues without Nagelsmann.
Considering they've got a lifeline with Paraguay missing their last two penalties, Jonathan Tah's penalty is astonishingly bad, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's not just that. It's also who takes the penalty. I mean, there were other players on the field as well. As a defender, you're not supposed to take it, except you're very sure in taking it. So I would also say that in general, the nerves were not the best on Germany's side. But I agree, the penalty was poor, but it just like fits in the whole picture, to be honest.
It does, actually. It's got progressively worse, hasn't it, Raf, actually, this campaign, finally?
Do I detect some sense of schadenfreude that Germany got beaten on penalties in the World Cup in this commentary?
No, do you know what, actually? I don't...
None at all, none at all.
No, I don't think you do, actually. I just think...
well, not from the Scotsman.
No,
anyway.
it's fine.
No.
It's fine. It's fine. No, look, I think Arne's right. I think... in a way, this has been coming, and we talked about this before the game. Germany have been poor, and they were favourites to beat Paraguay, but they weren't massive favourites because we saw all the problems. And to be honest, if I want to be really cynical or maybe sarcastic, I think all we would have earned today, if we'd won this, was a right to get absolutely destroyed by France.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure it's going to make that much of a difference, but of course we'll never know, and that's why I think it'll be over for Nagelsmann, I'm afraid.
No, and actually I think that's very quickly why there probably isn't schadenfreude, because you want the big games, don't you? And without being disrespectful to Paraguay, Raf, whatever would have happened, France-Germany would have been a huge game.
Yeah, it would have been a fun one until kickoff, I think, from a German perspective. But no, I think we wanted to see it, and France would have enjoyed this, I think, today. First of all, both teams going the extra mile with injury time. Sorry, extra time. I keep saying injury time. Yeah. Extra time, and of course Paraguay, despite their defensive solidity, I think still a more beatable opposition even than this Germany side.
Arne, Raf, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Final one for a Pat in the stadium. It's gonna take them a while to get those Paraguayan players and backroom staff off that pitch, isn't it?
They are celebrating like they've won the World Cup. They really are. That's the way it is down there just now. And you can't help being for them. We watch football for the emotion. We watch it for the joy. We watch it for the very, very special moments.